This past weekend, the Coops came down, the triplets came up. This was the mergers and acquisitions weekend. Yes. And one of the things we did, we went to the game show room. We got to play, Family Feud, Price is Right. One of the things we got to do is Wheel of Fortune. The way they play it there is a little different. You're kind of both guessing letters at the same time. At any point, you can guess the puzzle if you just think you know it. So it's fair game to anyone.
Oh, it's like almost a speed game?
It's like a free-for-all. Yeah, speed Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, okay.
So there's like 9 of us playing, and the category is phrase, and there's not many letters up on the board, and Rachel raises her hands, and it's like, oh, wow. Okay, she knows it. Screen goes black. We can't see it anymore. She goes, they're like, oh, yes, Rachel. She goes, the early bird got the worm. And she doesn't let an hour go by where she doesn't say, why did I say that? The early bird got the worm? Why did I say that? She's mortified.
It is her, worst moment of her life.
She wrote me a letter like a month into dating, and she used the wrong form of there, and she also brings that up all the time. She can't stand that she wrote that. And it's
wrote it down, not even like a
wrote it down.
Mistext, like autocorrect kind of thing.
But yeah, early bird got the worm.
Early bird got. I'd like to solve the puzzle, please.
Mm-hmm.
Over the weather.
Oh, I thought you were saying like over the rainbow, like
somewhere under the rainbow. I think this tight beat means that it's going down with some random thoughts and white meat too. Midwest best friends eating fast food on repeat. So come along, let's have some fun and go ahead, get on your feet, cause it's the Ghostrunners podcast. Every Monday morning we're taking ground. Ghostrunners podcast.
This is a podcast episode. Thank you for listening to our talk show. We're recording in a workshop.
Wow.
In Shawnee, Kansas.
This is a nice table.
I can see a baby monitor. I can see a trampoline. I can see Scott Peck. And that's it.
Yep. Some flies.
Yeah, we're down here and it's humid. It is 8 p.m. at night. My watch says it is still 90 degrees. That is temperature. That is not heat index.
That's not even like feels like. Catherine loves the feels like, dude. Like,
oh yeah, me too.
Do you?
That's better. It's more accurate.
Right? Okay, yeah. but okay, but if it's 90 degrees out and it feels like 95, what does 90 feel like?
Does that make sense to you? Plus humidity.
But you know what I mean? Like if it says if it's 15 degrees out, but it says feels like -2. How do you know what -2 feels like? Because you walk outside and it's 15 degrees. You know what I mean?
Well, it's because temperature isn't the only factor. They have to factor in like the moisture in the air and the wind.
But like, how do you ever know what that feels like?
You go to Palm Springs, California,
where it's like perfect.
Yeah, and then you get a sense of it. And you're like, oh, this is nice. And then you come back. So. You're like, that's what -2 in Palm Springs feels like. That's really cold.
It's like true weather right there. I always give Catherine a hard time. Like she's like, feels like -8. And it's like, okay, but you don't know what that feels like because you walk outside. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to explain my thought process on this, but like
I kind of get it.
It's like how do we ever really truly know what something feels like if we walk outside and it's not that exact temperature?
I got 2 things to say on this. One, there should be a secondary feels like, a more subjective version of it. This feels like last Wednesday when you wore a winter coat and it still wasn't warm enough.
Okay.
Like it reminds you like, oh, that I remember that. Or like I was cold driving.
Summer. It feels like a great night for baseball. Like, you know that feeling of like, it's warm. I'm comfortable, but it is not too hot.
It feels like a 10-minute outdoor walk would get you a little sweaty.
Okay.
Like, oh, that's warm then.
That's what this is right now. Yeah. It feels like a 10-minute walk is like showing up on your shirt.
Feels like not a good night to wear a skin-tight Elvis costume and a wig.
In a shop with no circulation whatsoever.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's talk about it
for an hour and a half.
So if you are not on youtube.com, please check us out, youtube.com/Ghostrunners podcast. Jake is having a identity crisis. I don't know what this is.
I am having an identity
opposite of crisis.
Yeah, what is that word? It's like when you find
celebration.
You find a fossil. What would you call that?
Discovery?
I'm having identity discovery.
Okay.
I'm Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
No, I'm just on a big Elvis kick right now. During the mergers and acquisition, we were kind of wanting a more like relaxing day. I threw out the idea, hey, let's go see a new Elvis movie. I hadn't really heard much about it. I just knew it was out, and Trey and I had kind of made fun of the actor because his voice is stuck like Elvis now. And he's like trying to play it off. He's like, no, I've just gotten older and I talk this way now. It's
like
dude,
in interviews, you mean?
Yeah. So,
really?
I mean, even just like 3 years ago, there's an interview of him like, yeah, I'm really excited to be out here. Like this is Hollywood. This is crazy. And like, I just about to he's like, well,
listen, her.
It's
hey, ma'am, can I call you mama? Do you mind if I call you? I get that. I'm dyslexic, so MAAM kind of looks like MAMA, so I call everybody mama. All right.
This is really my first big gig. You know what I mean?
Thank you a lot.
Thank you a lot. So that's all I really known.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Tom Hanks was in it. That was a fun surprise.
Okay.
Thomas Hanks.
Tell me if you've, off the top of my head, don't look it up or anything. Can you think of any other movie that Tom Hanks is not the main, like, leading male role in? Like, I saw him, because I was the same way. Like, I saw previews for the longest time of Elvis and didn't even realize that Tom Hanks was in it.
Because he's a secondary guy.
Because, yeah, he's not the main guy. He's not Elvis, obviously. I mean, yeah.
Let's think.
I don't know.
Like
he's pretty often the main guy.
Woody, Captain Phillips.
Okay, Woody might be like.
I'm
Woody like shares the spotlight with Buzz.
I'm ruling these ones out
with Sid. You mean
with Sid?
Sid's the main with the claw. Yeah, I don't know. Just something to think about for the commenters. We don't have to sit in silence thinking about movies.
Yeah.
Like,
but I'm kind of curious though. I'm gonna.
Okay, yeah, look it up for us, Scott. That's what we need Scott here for, is stuff like that. So
that's
I guess
what I do.
Some trivia for us. So look it up. We can keep talking about Elvis and everything. You just loved it.
So I went in. I think what helped, and I've been preaching this for a long time. Expectations are so important,
of course,
and I think that's what led to my Top Gun review. The expectations were so high going into it. Elvis.
Whose fault is that?
Just society, culture, like Americana.
Like there was not one person that's like way more obsessed with Top Gun than anybody else I know.
Whose fault is that?
Yeah, nobody made you go to a 10:30 show. And why?
But Elvis, I had no expectations. I will say, maybe I'm a little biased. My dad was a big Elvis fan, so I grew up listening to some Elvis.
Sure,
but it's not like, I mean, I was watching the movie like, oh no way, like I was learning stuff. It wasn't like I was yeah, Rachel, you're gonna love this next part.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just went in with no expectations. Like, yeah, there'd be something to do, whatever. And dude, yeah, absolutely loved it. I'm in a weird kick right now, just a little Elvis kick. I can't stop Googling Elvis things.
Really?
In the car, I'm only listening to Elvis. For 4 days now, I've only listened to Elvis.
Well,
wow. I am not for a second exaggerating.
I love it.
I've only listened to Elvis for 4 days.
I love, and Scott is even 10 times more in love with this kind of thing. I love getting on kicks.
Yes.
Like I love, like I remember, like, what was it, 8th grade when School of Rock came out? I was a huge, like, Led Zeppelin, Leonard Skinner, like all that kind of kicks. And then it was like, I don't know, like so many different fun kicks. Like when the Johnny Cash movie came out.
Walk the Line.
Oh yeah. Like loved getting on the Johnny Cash kick.
Johnny Cash kick. Ray Charles kick.
Never saw Ray.
Okay. Those are kind of the same movie, which is what I liked about Elvis. Ray Charles is like, he's really good at music, but he does drugs. And then Walk the Line is like, this guy's good at music, but he does drugs.
Yeah.
And he's sad.
Yeah.
And then Elvis was just a little more different. It was told from the perspective of like his manager.
Okay.
Didn't focus as much on like the drugs and the sleeping around, which they probably could have focused on.
No, but
I like that they didn't.
Sell. Yeah.
Yeah. It was edited in a cool way. It was a little too long. It could have been shorter. I'll say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, really liked it.
Okay. So as an Elvis listener, these past however many days, like, can you tell me, I mean, I don't know how much you've really truly dissected Elvis, but like, I feel like he sounds so different. Talk about somebody like the actor changed his voice. I feel like Elvis changed his voice so much from when he first started to like near the end of his career.
I went from like noticed that
rock and roll. I feel like he maybe started out with country and then he went like a little rock and roll and then he was like gospel at the end.
Yeah.
That's what's so interesting about him.
He did switch genres a bit. I think some of it's also like recording quality. You know, it's like you listen to his first singles and it sounds so like
it sounds like he was screaming in some of those things, like you just said she was high class.
That's fun. That's fun. That gets me excited just hearing you do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Well, I know when Elvis first started making music, there were only 3 genres. You could, if you wanted to be on the radio, you had to
country
say if
western?
you were country.
Let me see. Country western, gospel.
Nope.
Dang. Country western.
Like the
lime
western.
Rock and roll.
Lime. No, not rock and roll.
Country western.
Rock and roll did not exist yet.
Dubstep.
Hip hop.
EDM.
Gosh, why can't I think?
Blues.
Okay, blues.
Sure, rhythm and blues.
Jazz.
R&B.
Yeah, jazz.
Which is kind of rock and roll.
Jazz has been around for a long time.
No jazz.
No jazz.
Country western. R&B.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not what you're expecting, probably.
It's not what I was expecting.
Yeah. Do the one you're not expecting.
Oh, okay.
K-pop.
K-pop.
Pretty much. Pop.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I guess Elvis was one of the first people. So I think he started off as a country artist, but then he started using the drums, and that was like unheard of. Like using a drum set with country music.
Really?
They're like, this is a lot at once. Let's slow down here, pal.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what he just kind of created his own genre, and his genre I think did kind of switch, but it was always kind of unique a little bit.
Yeah.
But then he went through like a gospel phase, and it's just interesting. He just lived a cool life.
I can't take you that. Like I'm like really interested in what you're saying, but at the same time, you look amazing and awesome and ridiculous.
Thank you.
And so it's like you're moving around like he's living a cool life.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
I do feel kind of bad though. I feel like I should have, after I watched Maverick, I should have come to the podcast in a fighter pilot suit with a full helmet and mask on.
There's still time. I don't think it's too late. Yeah.
I feel like my love is not matching Jake's
obsession
with Elvis.
I'm just fully in. It's just cool. It's cool, dude. Cool story.
Okay.
Icon. At the peak of his career, he got deployed. It's just crazy to think about.
Wow.
Ted Williams style. That's what he did.
No way.
Yeah. And he still is like one of the best. Yeah, whatever.
Cool.
It's crazy. Well, I'm excited to see it. I haven't heard any negative reviews about it yet, similar to Top Gun, which is awesome.
I don't even really know. I don't know if it's like being critically acclaimed. I don't know if people are liking it that much, but I know that me and the Coop family really liked it.
I don't know. I don't really care about the critically acclaimed, yes or no, as much as I care about
Neither do I. I'm in an Elvis costume because I liked it.
I just care about what people on like my friends on social media say.
I
have seen some people on there be like, it was really good. So
cool. Go see Elvis
really
and let's talk. Let's talk Elvis.
Let's talk about it, baby.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. I love it.
So yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
Shout out to you guys for being here. Like Jake said earlier, we're recording in the Ellis Custom Creations shop studio.
Yeah. It's so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, this is nothing compared to what it normally is though.
Well,
I mean, it's still hot, but
normally we record in the air conditioning. So it's quite a bit different than that.
Compared to the daytime in here. Yeah, but it is.
Might hear some flies buzzing in the microphone occasionally.
Yeah. But yeah, Hattie went to Great Wolf Lodge tonight, and kind of logistically, we decided for her not to spend the night. My parents were hosting all the grandkids, but we're like, she's had a long week, so we're going to bring her back home. And we were trying to figure out how to do that. And I was like, why don't we just record here? So here we are. And Jake texted me a few days before I requested this and said, hey, what if I wear an Elvis costume the whole time? I said, sure.
And then day of the recording, it was like, hey, why don't we go in the humidity for a couple hours?
70%.
I said, we don't have to.
Uproot the studio.
And Jake's like, yeah, well, let's do it. So
I think at one point you used the word behoove. I couldn't turn down a behooving.
Yeah. He behooved.
I do like behooving.
Us.
You said it would behoove you if I came.
It would behoove. Thanks for behooving me.
Yep.
Behooving with aplomb.
You betcha.
I told you this earlier, but Catherine was like, I said something like, yeah, Jake's going to wear an Elvis costume tonight for the podcast. And she said, why? And I was like, I never even questioned it. Didn't think twice about it. I was like, I don't know. That's just Jake. And then she thought maybe you had lost a bet that made you.
The opposite.
Nope.
A lot of free will. And it didn't cross my mind that you didn't ask why I was wearing the Elvis costume. Like it wasn't like, why isn't Brad asking?
It's like I wish Brad would have considered this more, like what's going on here.
No, I didn't think about
it. I was just like, I don't care.
There's so much condensation on that coaster.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was all for it, man.
Thank you for.
Thank you.
How was your week?
My week's been good, man. I went to camp. Like I think I said that last week.
Sunday and Monday you were going to go to camp.
Yes, it was so much fun. I got to show Hattie camp because she's technically eligible to go to Kanakuk next year if she wants to. And I was like so confident, like, oh, we're definitely sending her next year. And after that day and a half that we were there, I think maybe we'll wait another year.
She's got to grow up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, so before we even went, Catherine, was just like classic camp mom, like so nervous, like thinking about it. Like she's not old enough to go to camp yet. She doesn't know how to even shower yet. She doesn't know how to tie her own shoes. And it's like, they'll figure it out. I mean, I was like, she got a whole year before she's even able to go.
We got a year to teach her how to shower.
Yeah, no problem.
I did it in 6 months.
It took me like 9 months top. Sometimes I forget to take off my glasses, but besides that, I'm good.
Yeah. Still working on getting the legs wet.
Yeah. But like I don't know. You don't have kids yet, obviously, but like, do you think like, are you really excited to send your kids to camp someday? Or like, do you think that way? Like that's like something like ever since I've had kids, I'm like, I can't wait. You know, anytime my friends from camp would have kids around my kid's age, I'd be like, oh, they're going to be in the same cabin together, like joking about it and everything. So like in my head, I think I'd put a lot of pressure on going to camp and like Hattie loving it. I was like, gosh, please. I tried to like show her videos beforehand and like really hype her up, and she was excited about it.
What a good thing though to pressure your kids into. If that's the biggest thing that you're like kind of like overbearing about, like, sending them to an amazing Christian
Love
camp.
it. Yeah, exactly. So the first night we get there though, there was a K-Life. So K-Life at camp is just basically this big event, skit time,
dance, sermon.
So the very beginning of K-Life, at least at K-Country, I'm sure everywhere, is just a big dance party for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the director at K-Country, so K-Country, the one I worked at, is the youngest kids. So it's 6 to 11-year-olds. And so like the sound system should probably be the least important for that camp. But our director is like so into it. He was like, yeah, we had 15-inch subwoofers. But I said, 15 inches isn't enough. 18 inches. I want them to be blown away by the gospel. And he's like telling me this as we're walking in, like the music's already blaring. He goes, I want to be blown away by the gospel. And he literally opens up the doors. And it's just like, boom, boom, boom. And we walk in, I mean, all these lights, it's super dark. And Hattie within 10 seconds just yells like, and I can't hear it. And I put my ear down to her and I go, what? She goes, I want to go home. And I was like, oh no. And I was like, no, we can't go home. We just got here. Come on, it's fun. Let's dance. She's like, I want to go outside. I don't want to be here. And I was like, this is my nightmare. Like, this is it. And so anyway, we went outside, and it was actually a really cool blessing to go outside. So we went outside and I kind of talked to her and just like, hey, it's going to be okay. You know,
give her a couple dance moves to go in there with a little more confidence.
No, it was just all about the noise, man. She couldn't take all that noise. And it's an intimidating place for sure. But as we're sitting out there, a few of the counselors are trickling in with their campers, you know, because it's just now starting. And this guy sees me, and you could tell like he was like not starstruck, but like very surprised,
comet struck.
He goes, "Oh, you're Brad Ellis," and I was like, "Yeah, man." And I was like, you know, I heard you the weekend before, like, yeah, it's a great place to go.
Yeah,
you get recognized, awesome. Dude. Coolest story, maybe in podcast history. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stories.
No. Wow.
But he was like, dude, I love your podcast. I listen to your podcast and it's so good. He's like, is this Hattie? And I was like, yeah, this is Hattie. Anyway, he goes in, his name's Tremaine. He's from Baylor. Later on, I'm talking to the assistant director, who's one of my friends, Jake Sizelove, shout out. And I was like, yeah, because he mentioned like, yeah, some people send me stuff from your podcast before. It's so funny, whatever. And I was like, yeah, this guy Tremaine actually just said he listens to my podcast. He's like, dude, not only does he listen to your podcast is the reason he applied to camp.
No way.
They're like, wow. He had never heard of Kanakuk. And in his interview, they're like, so how'd you, like, why are you interviewing for this? He's like, I listen to this podcast that I really like. And
I've always wanted to meet someone with the last name Sizelove.
And I did it. No, but just like the idea of like, just some kind of eternal significance to our podcast is just crazy.
Now we've done it.
Because obviously that kid is preaching the gospel to some kid who, you know, will hopefully
can't even tie their shoes.
Can't tie their shoes, but they can get saved for the gospel, man. And maybe someday that kid will do the same. And anyway, it was a really cool thought to be like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Like because of our podcast, this guy heard about camp, and obviously that's not the only way to spread the gospel, but
Tremaine.
Anyway, so yeah, saw Tremaine, saw a few other people that night that were like, what, like kind of confused, like, are you Brad Ellis? And I'm like, yeah. And it was all Ghostrunners. It was never like,
it wasn't like former
that's not
campers.
true. There were a few people that were like, do you do YouTube stuff? And I was like, yes, but they didn't know like my name or anything.
They didn't know you from Kanakuk though? No one called you B-Rad or anything?
Oh, there were some people like that too.
See, that's what Kanakuk, it was like you see one of every kind.
Yeah, it was really cool. There were a few of my campers that were now on leadership, which is crazy.
Fun.
Like, yeah, it was just like one of the guys is getting married in 6 months. I'm like, you are 8 years old to me. Like, how are you about to get married? But yeah,
he figured out the shower thing.
Yeah, he figured it out. So anyway, it was so much fun. And the next day, 4th of July, we went back to camp, and I didn't know how long we were going to be there. Probably like, I thought maybe 2 or 3 hours, and we ended up being there for like 8 hours straight.
Oh,
like just running the camp basically. Like
hot dogs,
watermelon.
Yep. Root beer.
No root beer.
Whoa.
We
downsizing. Not on the subwoofers.
Not on the subwoofers. I don't think we've ever had root beer though. for 4th of July.
You've had it before.
I have. Yeah.
Cool.
Western party. Dude, have I ever told you I was reminiscing on this with some people. Have I ever told you about how I shot that guy in the face at the Western party?
Yeah.
Have I told that on the podcast?
I don't know.
Shot a guy in the face.
Story over.
So yeah, back in the day. So I was on programs. Jake was on programs. We planned all the parties. There was a party that was a Western party, and Jake's camp is called K West, which is like the Western themed camp.
It's Elvis's first genre.
So they do a Western party every year. Yeah. They do a Elvis or Western party every year. It's like a
Never
huge
did an
deal.
Elvis party.
That would be fun. Maybe just the gospel years, I guess. But no. So they had all these Western stuff, and so we borrowed their like these powder guns. You remember those things that were just like they're like crack cap guns on steroids.
Similar between a cap gun and like a starter pistol. Crack.
Yeah, like it's like a pretty it sounds loud. And so at the end of this Western party that we did, I was the good protagonist. My name was Sundance Ellis or whatever. Anyway,
Sundance.
And
what character were you playing?
I was just the good cowboy.
Just the good cowboy.
Just the protagonist. Like,
is that from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Of course, yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, at the end of the night, like the bad guy comes and it's like, what are we gonna do? Sundance.
What's the bad guy's name?
I don't remember now. Dang, I wish I did.
Devil.
Yeah, just
we didn't want to
just Beelzebub.
Satan.
Beelzebub. And so like this is the first time doing this party, and you know how the first party always goes. It's
I would always tell campers, don't even come on the first term.
Like the first term is just surviving, right?
Just let us figure it out.
Like we don't know how the party's gonna go. Everyone's confused, but let's just go for it. So like we do this kind of fight scene with like 4 or 5 bad guys, and then the last bad guy, I think I kind of threw him on the ground, but I had forgotten to like kill him or whatever. And so I don't know why, like the James Gandolfini, I guess, in me, like the Sopranos, I thought it was a good idea. So I literally, this is like 6 to 11-year-olds, just a bunch of little kids. This guy's laying on the ground at this party, like basically looks dead, like knew he was supposed to be dead. I walk up to him with this gun that looks like a real Western, like loud gun. And I pop him like 5 times right in the, like point blank in the head.
You kind of say it. Make my day.
And like my friend, like his name is Bryant. Like Bryant was like, you deafened me, dude. I thought like I could not hear for like 2 hours after that.
That's got to be such a great camp story for the rest of that summer. Like remember the time Brad
like
really
people
killed him?
People were like, what were you thinking? And I was like, I don't know. And I just popped up. Like,
keep the change, you filthy animal.
I mean, that's dark no matter how old you are, but when you're 6 years old and you see some guy
bang,
like the guy that's supposed to be the good guy, just have no recollection for anything.
Here's the guy laying on the ground, basically dead.
Get him, Sundance! 6-year-old. Yeah, Sundance, get him!
5 shots in the forehead.
Anyway, so
oh man,
camp overall was so much fun though. I mean, Hattie, her favorite thing was the skit closet. We probably tried on 15 different things.
Oh no way!
I mean, yeah, K Country is all about programs and all about skits, and so they have a huge skit closet, bigger than my bedroom, and has so many different things, and she loved that. She couldn't believe how many things were there.
What's the size of your bedroom? Standard?
15 by 20.
Good. You went with rectangle?
Yeah.
Just slightly.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, loved that. But then we were staying, like the plan was like, we're going to stay for fireworks, eat a bomb pop. She thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
Bomb pops. Eat a bomb pop and then go home really late.
Did she get a bomb pop for free or did she pay $3 for it?
She did not end up getting a bomb pop because right before the fireworks were about to go off, she was like weirdly nervous about fireworks all day. I think she's just like she's like sensitive to sound right now or something. But I was like, it'll be fine. We'll stand in the very back, like just trying to like mentally.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You won't even be able to hear them.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's going to seem like they're barely there. And like, she's like the whole time we were down there waiting for him, she's like, Dad, I want to go back there. It's about to start. And I was like, no, they're going to announce it before it starts, whatever. And then finally she like I was talking to all these different friends, Star Peterson, all these people. And finally she just left without me and went back and sat down in her spot. And then I look over and she's like talking to me. And it's like, Hattie, obviously I can't hear you from, 50 yards away. And then I look back again and she's like starting to cry and like really sad. And it's like 9:45 at night. It's like, I'm not going to mess with this girl who's like already sleep deprived and tired. And so we just like, they literally were like, all right, 30 seconds. And then the fireworks are starting. And I've never seen her run so fast in her life up the hill. She was like, we were both sprinting up the hill. I was like saying goodbye to people as I was, running. And we ended up watching the fireworks from the car.
In a way, that was one of the more American things you could have done.
Run away from the fireworks.
Run from the fear.
Yeah.
Find a new territory for yourself.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
It was
True patriots.
Yeah, exactly. That's just like Elvis.
Oh, sure.
Just like Elvis.
One of the better patriots.
Yeah. Him and Brady. And but anyway, it was kind of a sweet moment, actually, honestly. Once we got in the truck and it was just like two of us looking at all these fireworks from afar. Like we were up with the kind of on a hill and seeing all these things. So all in all, it was a great, great time. And have a few other things, but I want to hear about your week.
Okay. Well, one of the things that happened this week is I texted Cody Terrell and I was like, hey, did you hear what we said last week?
I talked to him
on the podcast, and he was like, no, why? I've told you time and time again, I don't listen to your podcast. Quit bugging me. Quit trying to get me to listen to your podcast.
Oh, really?
And I was like, dude, I could have swore you wanted to advertise on our podcast. He was like, no, I never will.
Okay.
But there was something in his eye that told me when I was texting him, tell him again.
Hey, one more time.
Tell him one more time.
Yeah.
And I think that twinkle, when I was texting him, he would have wanted us to remind everyone that for a couple more weeks.
Mm-hmm. How many?
You can, like 3. Like somewhere between 2 and 3.
Like 3-ish.
Once again, it's just a twinkle, Brad. I don't have the exact facts. I'm just guessing here.
It's hard to read a twinkle that quick.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we weren't even in person.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like he wanted me to remind people that you can still get raffle tickets.
Really?
On the Trilex K-Life website, linked in our description. They're only $25. And another thing about the twinkle, I think he wanted me to thank those who bought so many tickets last week.
Yeah.
There was a glimpse of thankfulness in his thumbs. And
thankful thumbs.
Yeah.
Thankful thumbs. I love those thankful thumbs.
Thankful thumbs, and just the, all the people who've already supported, knowing that 100% of the proceeds go to K-Life, this ministry we believe and love.
Yeah.
And the prizes are that Toyota Tacoma with a piece of wood in the back, the 4x4.
4x4.
The 4x4 piece of wood in the back.
Yep.
Free entry into the Corn Ferry Golf Tournament.
Yep. For everybody that gives money.
Yeah, that's just
automatically.
Given.
That's not a raffle. That's just in there.
$10,000 in cash.
That's a big twinkle.
His words, not mine. His twinkle.
Yeah.
Not mine. I didn't say any of that.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer that Cody won't hear that. But no, keep checking them out. Keep supporting them. They're sponsoring the pod this week one more time. So check out Trilex K-Life.
Yeah.
Link in description. A lot of people bought tickets last week. So that's
really cool.
Yeah. So thank you guys.
We were talking about it the other day. I saw him at the fireworks before Hattie sprinted up the hill. And I was like, dude, that giveaway is insane. Like, I can't believe it. And it's like, believe it, baby.
Believe him. Hey.
Thanks for supporting us.
Believe him, Mama.
Support him back. And maybe, it's not cooler than like saving a kid's soul, but like maybe second best story, Ghosty winning.
Someone wins $10,000 cash.
Winning $10,000.
Or a brand new truck.
Or a brand new truck. Like, what would we do if someone wins one of those things? Like we would have to, especially the truck, we would have to like meet them where they live and like do a road trip or something with them.
An episode in the truck.
Yes.
Ooh, and I could wear a big winter coat and we could turn the heat on.
Yes.
I could record an episode really sweaty from that.
They live in Arizona.
Sure. Yeah.
What's the heat index?
Yeah.
What's it feels like?
One of the things I did this week, or I told you, we did the game show room.
Right.
This is by far the most interesting series of moments throughout my entire week. So strap in. The gentleman.
That's me strapping in.
He's strapped.
That boy strapped. Boom, boom, boom.
Did you turn the gun sideways?
I think I kind of did.
Oh my.
I think I kind of like, maybe like angled 45.
You've been watching some G Unit music videos or
That's
something.
right.
Perhaps. Maybe 50-degree angle. But, if you work at a game show room, you're probably somewhat quirky. I think it's fair to say. That's probably the job you should have.
Yeah.
You're a quirky guy. Go work at a game show room.
It can be way more enjoyable if you're quirky.
Yeah. So we're dealing with some quirky fellas.
Some quirks.
Last time we went to the game show room, the guys were, I guess now that I have something to compare them to, more on the normal side. These guys right off the bat seem just a little like weirder, but like, we're going to be your host for tonight. It's like, okay, great. And we're talking to them and he was like, okay, now who booked it here? And I was like, I did. He's like, okay, so you're Jake Triplett. I was like, yep. And he's like, okay, triplet. So are your like brothers or sisters here too? And I was like, oh no, it's just my last name. He goes, I know, I'm joking. And I was like, oh. Okay, sorry. That's like a legitimate. People ask that like legitimately all the time. So I thought you were being serious. And I was like, I'll tell you what I never hear is Jake from State Farm. And he was like, oh, no. And so I was like, oh, what have I done?
Wow,
what
just
like,
bad.
No, dude, I'm joking.
Bad delivery or bad reception, either for both of them.
Yeah, so kind of weird start. We get talking. People are going to the restroom. Okay, we're about to start. And some time has passed. He goes, you guys look like you're going to be fun. You know, I had a group of Asians in here the other day, and he kind of looks to his friend for like acknowledgement. Like, remember? Yeah, I had a group of Asians here the other day, and they were so boring.
I mean, like,
period. End of story.
Really boring.
So he says that. I mean, think about like the energy and the vibe. Everyone's so excited. Like let's hurry and go play Family Feud. And then he goes, yeah. And they were so boring. I mean, it's 2 full seconds of silence. And then of course I break it and I go, good story. Because it was so awkward. I was like, we can't let him off the hook. We can't just be like, oh, okay. I was like, he needs to feel the awkwardness. That was so weird and so lame and so just rude.
Xenophobic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, good story.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, yeah, anyway, you know, well, let's go over here. Let's split up into teams. You know, so like, okay. And so we're like trying to think of teams and, you know, quietly we're like, what was that? What, you know, whatever. And so we're like, hey, you know what? This is one of those things. Let's just have fun. So the triplets versus Coops, triplets team name. We're like, let's just, hey, he said it first. We're going to be the boring Asians. All right. That's going to be our team name.
We'll be the Wongs. You be the Yangs. Like,
I think I did suggest something like that. Like, what are we thinking? Lo mein? And so that was our team name. And then the Coops choose their team name to be the Stratford Indians. Like, oh, that's kind of fun. And so anyway, he's talking to us. Okay, boring Asians. All right. And Stratford Indians, got it. And he's kind of talking to us some more. And he's like, all right, sorry, I got to ask, like, what's the bit here? Asians, Indians, what's going on? And we were like, I mean, you he didn't even
recognize like his biff.
Boring Asians earlier.
Yeah.
He's like, what? It was like, you just told that story like out of nowhere about the Asian people who came in here and said they were so boring. And he goes, oh my gosh. No, you said Jake from State Farm. I said they were boring agents. And so we were like, oh. Okay. All right. And I was like, I swear he said, all right, whatever. So now things switch, and this guy had probably thought we were the super racist ones because our team names are Boring Asians and Stratford Indians. So he's like, who am I about to work with here?
Yeah.
So that was really funny.
Like they're just guessing like the worst titles for Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. And so anyway, so that's like kind of awkward. Okay, I think we've kind of cleared the air a little bit, and then he's like, wow, okay, so you guys just thought I was this like racist guy the whole time. We're kind of laughing. Like, we didn't know that was kind of weird. He's like, okay, well, I'll make sure to turn down the racism from here on out. So we're kind of laughing. And then dude, like 20 seconds later, he was like, all right, seriously. He keeps trying to like sell us like seltzers and stuff. He's like, so we're not drinking anything tonight? And we're like, no, we're all set. You know, he's like, no alcohol. What are you guys, Muslim? I was like, dude, you can't say that. I mean, 15 seconds ago, you said, I'll turn down the racism. And then you followed up by, what are you guys, Muslim or something?
I thought he was going to, like, that's funny.
Like, 1, what if we were? 2, either way, like, are you going to play this off? No, I said nationwide. Like, I'm not
Muslim. No, I said, yeah, what could that even be?
Liberty Mutual.
I said fussing. Like, you're just, what are you guys fussing?
You guys fussing over your bottle? Bottle of alcohol?
So this guy.
So we haven't even got into the game show room
yet. Did you get
and
after him when he said that?
All these things, we were just like, it was kind of like, let's just get like, because I know, I've done this before, so I know once we get into the room, it's going to be so fun. Like, for the love of God, can we just move on?
You're not even in the room
we haven't even started yet. And all this is going on. I think I even said to my dad, I was like, once we get in there, it'll be okay. You know, like, we just got to get through this part. I don't know what, because they you know, they're like, make team names, hey, give each other weird, wacky names. It's like, the game is fun enough. You don't need to make this part fun.
This isn't a corporate retreat. Like,
let's just go in and play.
We already like each other. Like, let's just go.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that was just wild. I mean, imagine all that going down, but for the next hour and a half, you are not in a space where you're able to debrief it. And so as soon as we step out of that, then it's like, everyone's in the parking lot, or when we get to Andy's, it's like, let's talk about that. Oh my god,
what just happened?
What are you guys, Muslim? It was awesome. So yeah, good experience.
I don't even know enough about Muslims to know, like, is that like, do they?
Is
not
that
drink?
even an accurate assumption on his part? I don't know.
I thought he was about to say, "What are you guys, Mormon?"
Yeah,
like,
that would make sense.
That's what I thought you were gonna say too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look Muslims alcohol.
Muslims alcohol.
Oh, by the way, did you figure out Tom Hanks?
Yeah, I'm looking through his filmography, and I can't
The
find
guy's a
one
stud.
where I'm like, yeah, he was a secondary character.
Like maybe League of Their Own,
that was the first thing that came to mind when you prompted that.
but there's not like another like male
Not another
lead.
guy.
Hold on,
no.
how lead was he in Saving Private Ryan?
You ready for it, guys?
I'm
I've
making a
never
lot of
seen it.
noises. Oh, really?
What?
Never
That's
seen
okay.
it.
You should put that on your list.
Okay.
Funny story about that movie. When I was a little
Schindler's List
joke. When I was a little kid, I love Brad. I love playing with GI Joes. Me and Jordan James. I got real into war stuff. Like I love playing with planes and GI Joes, and I think it was concerning my parents how much I enjoyed that. And so one day, my dad took me. We were at my grandma's house. He took me upstairs to a TV. Saving Private Ryan was on TV, and he showed me the D-Day scene to like say, "Hey, son."
I kind of remember you telling me that.
Pretty much to be like, this is what war is. You should probably not play as much with this type of stuff. And
Not idolize it.
And I was not very old. I think I might have been 10 or 11, I would guess. And that scene is gory and graphic.
Sure.
Oh, I mean, actual World War II veterans say it's the most like realistic depiction of it that they've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. And so just imagine a like 10, 11-year-old boy watching this. I don't
want to go to war. I want to play with Barbies.
I run out and just throw all my GI Joes in the trash.
Yeah.
That makes me feel less bad about shooting a guy metaphorically in the face. Not metaphorically, but imaginationally.
Mm-hmm.
Because if their home life, they're getting shown stuff like that, that's nothing. So
it is a well-known fact that Muslims don't drink alcohol.
Well known
to
all of us.
Okay, I don't know about
Everybody
that.
knows it.
Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to the pool the other day with Bo and Hattie, and Bo is so fun, but he's also getting to be having an attitude. Scott just had dinner with us beforehand, and saw some attitude from Bo. And so Bo, he's starting to talk a lot more, which is really fun, but he obviously is 2, so he can't talk super clearly.
Sure.
And sharp. But we have like at the pool that we go Lifetime, they have these like kickboards. Is that what they're called? Like those little foam, like
that seems like a good word for it.
I think
Everyone knows what you're talking about.
I think that is what it's called.
So anyway, we had one of those, and we were like taking turns back and forth, like either sitting on them, the kids were, or like surfing, and they were having fun or whatever. But Bo like doesn't like taking turns, doesn't really understand the concept very well, and really wanted to sit on the board. But Bo doesn't speak super well yet, and so his S kind of sounds like SH. So instead of like imagine he wanted to shoot, he would just yell, "Shoot! Shoot! Shoot! Shoot!
Oh no!
Shoot!" And at first I didn't think twice about it because I was like, "Oh, I know what he's saying." Yeah. But then I was like, "Oh, that sounds a lot like the other thing."
Like, oh shoot!
You want to talk about rough home life? Everyone's making some assumptions about you.
That dad must show Hacksaw Ridge to his little boy. Shoot! Shoot! Like over and over again. And I finally was like, "Hattie, your turn needs to be done because we need to give it to Bo."
Is Hattie old enough to like understand like this is kind of a problem?
No, she doesn't know bad words yet. I don't think.
No, not that. Like, you could tell your tone enough. Like, hey, I need you to help me out here. Let Bo have a turn because he's about to lose his mind.
No, not. Yeah, yes and no. Like, but I don't think she really understands. Like when I'm like, "Hey, level with me here." Like your brother. Like sometimes.
Hey, I'm Gary. You're Julius.
Let's get some particulars.
You should try that with her. Look, I'm Dad. Yeah. You're a Hattie.
I don't think she always understands, but sometimes it's like, just level with me. Like, Hattie, you just be a little more understanding of like, you don't need that toy right now. Just give it to him. She's like, but I want the toy. So no, not exactly. But anyway, Bo's just screaming expletives at the pool. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, maybe no one thinks anything of it. Maybe people are just like, "Oh, that boy is just saying syllables." Like, but I mean, he is just yelling sit, over and over again. Sit. I sit. It's like, Bo, you got to stop.
I sit in the pool.
Yeah. I sit pool. I sit the pool. Like, no, dude.
If he was just actually yelling sit, he would sound like all the people I play golf with. Yeah. Because that's what they sound like. They're just saying sit.
But then they take off their hat and give you a handshake at the end of it.
Bono.
But yeah,
that was a great video.
We've been going swimming a lot. Hattie fell like getting out of the pool and like she walked too fast and slipped, and so now I taught her like walk like a penguin. Ooh. And so now like if you know Hattie, strides. She is short stride Ellis. But Hattie is so cautious anyway. So now ever since I've taught her this like trick, she walks like a slug. Like it's like so everywhere? Slow. No, just at the pool. Like she'll get out though and just like, I mean, it takes her 2 minutes to get around the pool.
That's kind of cute, unless you're in a hurry.
No, it's not bad. It's just it's so funny to watch her just like be so careful with her steps.
That was enough for her. One slip, and she's like, "No way."
Oh, she was crying. I think it was just scary for a kid to do something like that.
Did your swim trunks stay intact this time?
Yeah, I got some new trunks, so they're good.
New trunks. Where from?
Academy Sports and Outdoors. In the Trunk Club.
The Trunk Club. I think they just sell swim trunks, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, cool. They send you trunks. You send them back.
Yeah.
Academy Sports.
Academy Sports. I'm a big Academy guy.
Really?
I don't need like super high end.
Scott's a big
gear.
Naval Academy guy. I know that.
Big Naval Academy. Your instructor.
Guess what?
His exploits are legendary.
That's probably a quote from Top Gun, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like none of us get it, but we're like, we've
seen it less than 4 times. You don't know.
Guess what Catherine did by herself on 4th of July night?
Ooh.
My parents were like, Catherine, if you want to go hang out with your friends like for 4th of July, you're more than welcome to. We can watch the 2 younger kids because I know Brad's out of town. And she told me this. She's like, but like all my friends are like gone. Like they're like out of town. Like most of the people she would hang out with.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're gone. Brad shot him.
Shot him.
They're never coming back. But I was like,
oh, it's hot. Oh, it's hot. Every time I readjust, I'm reminded of how wet I am everywhere.
Yeah, how firmly stuck to you is that?
The stomach is soaked. Yeah. Sorry, go on. Catherine's friends are gone.
Dude, you're fine.
Thank you.
Anyway, but I was like, you should just go see Top Gun because we've been trying to find a babysitter to go watch Top Gun together for a while ever since I saw it, and we haven't been able to. And she's like, that actually sounds awesome. So she saw it, got out of Top Gun at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, right as like, it was dark out, all the fireworks were going off. And she was like, it was euphoric.
And she didn't have anyone to share it with.
No, she called me later on and we talked about it. But yeah, it sounded awesome.
If you guys, and this goes for Brad or Scott or anyone listening within earshot, obviously by the time this comes out, it'll be too late.
Henry?
Anyone, you want to see Elvis this weekend? You let me know.
Okay.
I would see it again.
Okay. Maybe
IMAX?
Saturday night. I got a pretty busy week.
Pickleball, then Elvis?
Okay.
Hey. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe double feature?
Sure.
Oh, you don't
Top
want a double
Gun,
feature.
then Elvis?
Sounds pretty good.
Wait, what would the
Oh, Top Gun.
Again?
Isaac and Catherine both saw that movie for the first time within the last week, and both of them said that they thought of me during the movie, and it just was it was like a proud father almost.
Yeah,
felt
dude.
so good.
Somebody's coming.
Who is it?
What is that noise? I thought it was June bugs hitting the siding of your.
Come sing the song with us.
We were just talking about.
Yeah,
Catherine Ellis is here. Looks like she's about to go on a walk. Come here. Come say hi.
What
you're like, hey, you got some athletic shorts on this time at least. Last time Catherine was going on a walk, Rachel
called her out, unfortunately.
Come here.
Something only a girl knows. What brand of shirt is that? Is that Walk in Love?
Yeah.
Walk in Love shirt.
It's one of my favorites.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good color.
Thank you.
Fun summer color.
Thank you.
Catherine, what does this song make you think of? Are you ready?
What day? day? What day does it remind you of?
What day of the week?
No, not yeah.
What day of the week? Brisk Tuesday.
Saturday?
Thursday.
Brisk
really.
Tuesday.
The third Thursday, probably.
Third Thursday.
Third Thursday.
Saturday.
Office trivia coming up.
Pose question? You're a little loud. And Kendra's outside.
Oh, she is. Our neighbors next door. Gonna go camping.
She's nice, though.
We were just talking about how you went to Top Gun at 4th of July.
By myself, you told him that.
Yeah. I think it's awesome.
That sounds so lame, though.
I'd go see it by myself.
I would love to go.
On July 4th, when you're supposed to be with
Kath,
people.
we need to have you in the microphone if you're going to talk. And on July 4th, when you're supposed to be with people, she said.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
It was
think it's
really
fun.
Did you tell him what I said about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said that's a bummer she had no one to share it with.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I understand. Obviously, I understand. Like, it's more fun with other people, but I also really enjoy doing things by myself sometimes.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. Since it was the 4th of July, I would have probably appreciated a friend to enjoy it with. But
A friend. Didn't have to be a husband.
Just any friend.
Just any sort of companion.
Just any other human.
Maybe even an acquaintance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Met him once.
I would have
Yeah.
settled for 3 doors down neighbor.
Yeah.
Catherine,
Tonight.
when you look at me and you think about going to the movies, what comes to mind?
No,
No.
Is this a trick question?
No. It's
That
me
seems
asking
very
you to see
obvious.
Elvis with me.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Jake, I would love to.
Thanks. Brad said no. And
Yes.
Scott said
He
something
said
about
this weekend.
pickleball.
When are we going to see it
I
this
said
weekend?
pickleball and Elvis.
Friday night.
Okay, we'll see it
Elvis.
Friday night.
We. Hey.
Oh.
Whoa! All of a sudden, no need for that companion anymore. His name's Jake.
That's right. If we both go, it becomes more complicated.
Yes, that's true.
Hattie would love to go with you though. My mom and I were talking about the Elvis movie, and Mom was like, "I want to go see Elvis."
Really?
Because she's seen Elvis's birthplace, so she's really into him.
Yeah. Tupelo.
Tupelo.
They say a real bad word towards the end, but I think she could watch a lot of the beginning.
Wait, you've seen it already?
Nope, just wearing this for fun, Kath.
I was wondering.
Just wearing this because I liked his music.
Just hearing it because this is the one time y'all are back in the shop with no air conditioning. Yeah.
I was afraid I wouldn't sweat enough just sitting here. I wanted to ensure I'd be soaked by the end.
So are they paying you to do an ad on?
Yeah,
the
Warner
podcast?
Brothers.
Yep, we got Warner Brothers, baby.
Cool.
I had a little speech
Humble
impediment trying to
Salt and Warner Brothers.
Cool.
And Trilinks K-Life, at least shout out the sponsor of this episode.
That's right.
Okay, but really,
Digital
though,
resource.
you just like loved the movie and wanted
Huge
to
Elvis kick right now. It's all I can listen to. It's all I can Google.
Really?
I've tried Googling other things. It doesn't work.
Oh, well, that would be a bummer.
Yeah. It is bummer. It's really fun, though.
Okay,
Big Elvis fan right now.
you should go Tupelo.
It's great. I learned so much.
Right?
I had no idea. He grew up in like an all-black neighborhood, and that kind of explains like why he was so like countercultural and like why he didn't really fit in a genre. He was like this white person making black music.
Yes.
Just meshed. That's why he was so well loved, I think.
Yeah.
That's why he was up there dancing like he was dancing. Dude, there's a great part. And I think now that, well, whatever. You know, one of his first concerts in the movie, it's not too much of a spoiler. He's like, what are they screaming about? And then one of his band members is like,
Pretty good.
you know, the wiggle.
That's funny. My mom went to go see that movie, and she did say, she was like, well, there was a lot of pelvic gyrating in it.
In the Elvis movie,
In the
really.
Elvis movie.
Imagine
I was like,
that.
oh, well, okay, maybe Hattie
I
won't
went and
stay
saw Bohemian Rhapsody. There was a lot of singing.
home.
Weird.
Oh, I like the idea of you like in your mirror to yourself, just being like, "What are they all cheering for?" or whatever you say. Like, I like the idea of you like quoting some of it.
Or when I get done off stage performing stand-up
Sound.
comedy. What are they clapping
What are they
about?
all clapping about?
You know,
Mix
the
it
jokes. I don't know if he actually said it that white and lame, but in
But,
my
like-
mind, I've like built it up now that that's how it was. What are they screaming about?
Well, and like all the other people, like back in the day, like you were either like super cool Elvis, or you had like this really like terrible voice, like,
Like this
"What are you
tenor.
talking about? It's gyrating." Like, it's buy my paper. You know, it's all over the papers. Like,
Coca Pepsi. Yeah, it was kind of lame.
bye, Kath. Love you.
Bye, Kath.
From a cultural musical standpoint, one of the other things I learned in my Googling, John Lennon has a quote, and he says, before Elvis, there was nothing.
Interesting.
I think just like musically, like there was really nothing like exciting.
Yeah.
ever.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He was like the first person to make music that
break the mold.
stood the test of time.
Isn't that how the book of Genesis starts? In the
Yeah.
beginning, there was Elvis.
There was nothing. Scott, that's sacrilege.
sacrilege? I remember one of the that reminded me of an old joke I heard. Maybe one of the first jokes I ever heard. I could have been like 7 years old. You know, some old guy at my church.
Let's do that. Let's go around and say those real quick.
Like the first joke you remember hearing? Okay, so this is like an old man at my church who knows that I was like at church and liked baseball. He's like, the Bible's about baseball. And I go, really? And then, no, actually, I probably hid behind my mom's.
Are you serious?
I think I probably hid behind my mom's leg, and she was like, say something. And then he's like, yeah, first 4 words in the Bible are about it. In the beginning.
That's good.
Pretty funny. Good story.
That was funny, Mistel.
You got one, Scott? Can you remember any jokes?
First joke.
No.
You'll have to help me with this. Do you remember the one where there's manners, poop, and shut up? Do you remember that joke?
What?
There's 3 people named Manners, Poop, and Shut Up. And like, I think it's like, Shut Up goes into town and asks for something. They're like, okay, yeah, sure. What's your name? He goes, shut up. What? No, what's your name? He goes, shut up. No, what's your name? He's like, shut up. And they say, oh shoot, I forgot.
You have no manners.
Yeah, they say something like,
next guy comes into town. Hey,
no,
what's your name?
Something about manner. Maybe
Horse's name was Thursday.
Wait. I'm gonna start again. You didn't hear any of that other part.
Lime.
The horse's name was Friday.
Country Western. Poop falls down. Manners goes and it's like, I'm gonna go help him. Like Poop got hit by a car or something. Like falls down.
Poop got shot in the head with a cap gun.
Yeah. Manners is like, I need to go help him. Shut up. You go get help. Like from an ambulance or something. This is obviously you can tell I really remember
this. Is the worst joke ever.
It's not. It's a great punchline, you jerks. So they're like, hey, okay, like I need your help.
Then
yeah,
get
no problem.
to it.
What's your name? Shut up. What's your name? Shut up. What's your name? No, shut up. And then they go, boy, where are your manners? And he goes, down the street picking up poop.
Nice.
Boo.
What are they booing about?
People laughed out there. People laughed. Kendra's next door. She laughed.
Scott, first joke?
I truly have no memory of the first joke.
And yet this guy boos me. And yet this guy boos me.
This
on
is
my
booer?
Podcast.
Podcast.
I'd rather say
on my
nothing
freaking
than what you just
podcast,
did.
he boos me. He's booing me on my own freaking podcast.
on
my podcast.
He must not even know.
I'm sorry. Is it every morning with Jake and Scott?
Adam and Steve?
Yes. It's Adam and Jake and Brad. Not Scott tells jokes and booze.
Oh, man. Did you see my idea? I don't know why the Adam and Steve thing made me think of it, for a t-shirt that says Ford best better.
I did not see that.
What do you
That's
think?
really funny.
Comment below if you would actually buy one of those.
That's so many jokes packed
an
into one
inside
shirt.
joke on top of an inside joke.
Ford
I mean,
better.
if you wear that shirt and someone's like, "Oh, what does this mean?" You're like,
It's a podcast.
Shut up.
In the beginning.
Where are your manners? Down the street picking up poop.
Where are your manners?
That's a good joke, guys. I
every
don't care
Monday
what you say. Anyway.
That's good. What were we talking about before? We were talking about Catherine. Oh, seeing Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Wait, that reminds me. We got a special treat this episode, and we should do one of the treats now.
Yes.
Do you
Scott,
think?
you want to introduce it first? Sorry.
Scott is looking at you like,
Yeah, topper date.
Yeah. Give an update for Topper.
oh.
Okay. So it's been a few weeks since we've talked about Topper on this podcast. Back
We've
then,
been topless.
What?
Go on.
Yep, I got it. So a few weeks ago,
Boo this guy!
Topper was down the street picking up poop. We were contemplating what we wanted to do with this troublesome puppy in our house, and we resolved to go on our vacation, board him for $385, and then give him a few weeks and decide what we wanted to do. So we board him, go on vacation, come home. 2 days later, we make the decision to give him to Sam's cousin.
Goodbye, Topper.
Give him to Sam's cousin.
So
If you know what I mean with the cap gun.
Give him to the Missouri River.
Yeah, Palmer, we gave him to Sam's cousin.
And Brad, you'll appreciate this. You want to know the best part is prior to going on vacation, her cousin was like, hey,
I can watch it for free.
I'll watch him
You
for
dingus.
free. And I told Sam, I was like, why don't we let Matt watch him for free?
Yeah.
Then, he can try him out, see if it works. And,
Try him out for size.
Yeah. And I was like, no,
See if they fit in
let's
his trunk.
board him. So we board him for another
Sorry,
$400 and then decide to give him away.
Why did you board him? Because Sam wanted to do?
Sam.
Yeah.
said so. Yeah. And so, we
Good
give
for
him
you.
away
Listen
2
to your
days
wife.
after that. And now he is in a very happy home with 2 other dogs and some dog people.
Some dog people.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling
and
Palmer.
Sam and Palmer and I are very content with not having a puppy in our house
Palmer's okay
anymore.
with it. She's not like talking about it too much, or
No, she actually has been surprisingly good with it. Sam said she cried when she first told her, but they went and had some retail therapy buying new dance costumes.
Ooh, nothing a good dance costume.
Yeah,
can't fix.
some stooms
Look at me.
really solved the tears.
okay.
So yeah, we are a topperless family now.
Well, Josh Brumfield has some things to say about that.
Oh, okay.
Ask if I want to.
Hey, would you like to tell me what Josh Brunfield thinks of that?
With
that? With the jingle?
yeah, sure. Scott, you want to come sing with me? Scott's dying over there in the corner.
I just said.
Okay, I think I need to sing. No, start over. I think I have to start the singing, and then you have to press play.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
There's a quick hit, and then you hit it. All right. Maybe there was another instrumental there that I missed, but thanks to Josh Brumfield for the in podcast jingle. Middle of the podcast.
Mid jingle.
I would love to see how Jake did behind me.
We might have to edit some things out.
What things?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Gosh,
You're saying, hey, mama?
I was so sweaty just sitting here.
Yeah.
And then I did that.
Shirt dry ain't hype.
And it wasn't even a good performance.
I'm
By
gonna-
me.
Hey,
I'm glistening now just by standing up.
Oh,
you glisten on my bench?
I don't think so.
you glisten on my bench?
You eyeing my piece 50
No,
cent?
that was great. That got me fired up. Good singing, you guys.
Thanks, Tim.
Good writing, Josh Brumfield.
Do you know that quote? You eyeing my piece 50 cent?
No.
Oh,
Scary Movie 2.
It is like the most random scene in a movie of like,
Is it from Transformers?
yes, it's from the original Transformers.
Let's
How in the world?
He's like, he got arrested or whatever. He's at the police station
Yeah.
at the very beginning. He's like,
my piece?
you eyeing my piece 50 cent? It's like- anyway,
It sounds like a pretty dumb quote.
it's a dumb quote, and it's like that could have easily been canceled out of the movie. That whole
Shut
scene.
that out.
Shia
Um,
LaBeouf.
Yeah. Scott asked Catherine after she watched Top Gun, like, do you think Miles Teller is as hot as all the other girls? And she's like, honestly, I mean, yeah, of course, like all the guys are like good looking in that movie, but he just kind of reminds me of Shia LaBeouf. We're
Hold
like,
on.
It's
LaBeouf?
his poker name.
At first, I think you phrased the question. You said, do you think Miles Teller is as hot as the other girls?
Oh,
And so I was
the
confused
other
what the
girls
answer was going to
think
be.
whatever
The
Scott
specific
said.
question was, do you think he's a babe?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Mm.
Yeah.
LaBeouf.
LaBeouf.
In my research, I found a lot of things out recently about Elvis. Miles Teller didn't get the role for Elvis. He auditioned for it.
Oh man,
It was like between Austin Butler, who got it, Harry Styles, and Miles Teller.
I think obviously if they find the right person for it, it's better if it's somebody that you don't know beforehand.
It's kind of fun.
You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Like it's like I love that kind of like
Visually,
it's like his
I also
coming out
think
performance.
he looks a lot more like him than
Oh
either
yeah,
of
he
those other
definitely
two guys.
does. But they might have been able to make those guys look like him. I think.
Yeah.
Like, does that guy look like him in everyday life?
No,
Really?
he doesn't look a crazy amount like him, but more like him than probably Harry Styles does.
Yeah. Okay, I have a fun story. I have been. You good?
Oh yeah, I'm great.
Aunt Cindy, we all know her. We all love her.
I paid her $88 yesterday.
You pay so much more than I do every month.
Thank you.
I pay $36. Why do
For
you
a
have?
phone?
Why is yours so high?
Insurance?
Insurance? You do
I'm on like
insurance?
the iPhone Forever plan, so I don't own my phone. I just lease it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So every year I can get a new one.
Gotcha.
What plan are you on? That's
Sure.
wicked cheap, Brad.
Yeah, I know. It's like a
You-
family plan.
With a bunch of other people in your family, or just you?
Yeah,
and
there's
Catherine?
I mean, I'm
10
in
of
there,
us.
so
Yeah. I think Jake's the only non-family
oh,
member.
okay. You're on Cindy's plan too.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyway,
Cindy's the matriarch of that.
Gosh, are you guys hot listening to this? It's so hot in here.
I mean, you're hot every time, and that's usually in air conditioning. So I could have told you. And you know what? You've been bragging about like, we were at the nutrition house and the air conditioning was off, and it's just nice. I'm like, Jake's always been like a big like, if it's hot, you hate it.
I think I've said this from the beginning because I've always been aware of it. By far, the most high maintenance thing about me is that there's a very narrow range of temperatures that I'm comfortable in. And I don't like it about myself, but I can't help it. I get cold so easily, but you turn the heat on and I get so stuffy. So yeah, I'm just not.
And
it's a
like
bummer.
once you're hot, you're hot. Like you can't get off. Like you can't get cool very quickly.
It's hard to get off the hot box.
And I don't mean that for you. I mean that for everybody. Like you can't downsize the threshold. That's the right wording. Cindy was at a bridal shower this week. So my Aunt Cindy teaches in Lewisburg, or taught in Lewisburg for a long time.
Lewisburg.
Jake.
Go on.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna talk about it. So she was it was a bridal shower for Emily Limke's roommate.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Wait, why? Whoa, hold on. Why was Aunt Cindy there?
Cindy's like the queen of Lewisburg. So she's
got invited.
I guess so. So, so yeah, Jake used to date this one girl. Megan is her name.
Let's call her Megan.
We'll call her March Madness Megan. And anyway, Megan's mom, and I think the whole Limke family was there. But Megan's mom mentioned like, yeah, we love their podcast. We love it, whatever. And Cindy's like, oh, that's great. I'm glad you like it. Jake and Brad, they're so nice guys, whatever. And then somebody else hears that and they're like, oh, I listened to that podcast too. And they realize later, oh, you're Aunt Cindy, whatever. And this
oh, you're Aunt Cindy.
Yeah.
I've been looking for you.
You're a celebrity around here.
You're Aunt Cindy.
But this woman is like a newer Lewisburg teacher. So she didn't know Cindy from, like
being the queen.
Being the queen of Lewisburg. But she's like, yeah, my husband and I love it. And my husband comments on every single one of Brad's Instagram posts with a thumbs up. And I have not given this guy 1 ounce of attention. I have not like given him any kind of talking like on the podcast because I for a long time I was like, I don't like this. Like,
so you noticed it.
Oh my gosh. Yes, of course. I get a notification every time anybody comments on anything. And so every single time, like I know, like, cause I schedule out my posts, I'm like, oh, I know my post just went live because
it got thumbs up.
I got thumbs up.
I love the consistency. That's awesome.
But now that like somehow we have a personal connection, I want to give a shout out to my thumbs up biggest fan, Blake Draper. For the longest time, I was like, I am not giving this guy a time of day. People will often send me an email that just has the thumbs up emoji in it. And I think I literally said the thumbs up is like, give me the finger and you're giving me thumbs up all the time. But now truly, I thought like, if I don't respond to this guy, eventually he's going to stop. And there'll be days where like he doesn't respond and doesn't comment. And then like he'll comment on 4 posts in a row. Thumbs up.
He fills it up.
So I got to give a big shout out to Blake Draper for your consistency. Thank you for being a fan. Hopefully every comment, helps on social media. And it's just crazy that like the small world of like your wife now teaches in Lewisburg, was at this bridal shower, somehow meets celebrity Aunt Cindy, Julia Roberts of Lewisburg, in the Limke family and everything else. So shout out to Blake Draper and his wife. We'll say your name is Courtney. I don't know.
Let's just say it.
Let's say it. So
cool.
It's just a fun story, crazy story.
Fun.
So
cool.
Yeah.
The bugs are really congregating.
The bugs
now.
have found the light.
Yeah.
Which is good.
They've flown towards the light.
I saw Jeff Skillman at church on Sunday.
Okay.
And
did you wave at him from up at the top of the stairs? I listened to that this week. I listened back to our podcast, and that story is still so funny to me. You're like, I don't think I should go all the way down to these 12-year-old girls. So I just waved at him from up the top of the stairs.
Yeah, I got to revisit the scene of the crime this week. Rachel's like, these are the stairs? I'm like, these are the stairs. They were right down there when it happened, when I waved at him. But
how's Jeff doing?
Good. Me and the Coop sat pretty much front row at church. We got there in a little lane, and
okay.
So Jeff saw me, and he gave me like a psst during some point, and I was like, "Oh, what's up?" And so after the service, I was going to go back to say, "That's what's up" to him.
Yeah.
But I couldn't because I got stopped by a Ghostrunner listener.
Okay.
Kim Campbell.
Kim Campbell.
I don't know. Let's say her name is Kim Campbell.
Let's say hypothetically Kim Campbell.
That's what I wrote down.
It's some kind of alliteration. It's either that or like Brandon
Butch
Blankenship.
So I couldn't even see Jeff because I got stopped, but it was really fun. So I saw Kimbo, and she said something. She was like,
Kimbo Slice.
What did she say exactly? She's like, I've been living in Kansas City for a while, listen to your podcast, and I've always tried to run into Brad. Something like that.
What a fun
I forget
challenge.
how she worded exactly. She's like, me and my friends always talk about like, when are we going to run into Brad? Like when I see.
Does that mean that she's met you before?
I don't know. I think she just has a favorite.
I think she just doesn't understand what it means to like kind of be unintentionally rude to me. We've always wanted to meet Brad.
And she said something. Well, she said something like, I would get a selfie, but I have a no phone policy in church. I said, good for you.
Oh yeah. Good for you. You want to use mine? I'll send it to you.
I'll draw you a picture.
Yeah.
Even better.
That's fun.
So that was fun. Then we went straight from church to Big Biscuit, went to early service when I had a little brunch.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm holding the door open. No, someone holds the door open for me. No, it doesn't matter. Why do I care?
There is no door.
Hold on. There's a revolving door. There was no holding at all. Like an Encyclopedia Brown story. I can't tell if these are bugs
nice,
or they're stray hairs.
There was a little gnat.
So much is touching my face.
You guys are so funny with the bugs.
A girl holds the door open for... No, gosh.
A 12-year-old girl.
It doesn't even matter.
It's your bull.
It's got to be a good look at your butcher if you hold the door open for him. I hold the door open for a girl, and as she walks out of the restaurant, in kind of Rachel Coop style, she goes, "I liked your video today," and just keeps walking. And I go, "Ah!" And then she was gone.
Who are you?
Do you know? Would you want to see Brad?
Yeah,
he's not here.
Rachel's like, "Nice try. I've already bagged him.
Bagged him at a Top Golf in September. Nice try.
I love it.
That was fun.
There was a guy at camp that said, "You do YouTube and Ghostrunners, right?" He's like, "I recognize your voice." I was like, "Yeah."
Cool.
He's like, "Yeah, I listen to you guys sometimes." He said, "Jake Triple was the first person I ever met as a camper at camp." He was like,
"Whoa,"
like because you were doing introductions or whatever.
Oh, I see. I
think so. You come around the corner and there's Jake.
Yeah.
So I don't know his name. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't remember it anyway.
You might have.
He would have to be a really bad kid for me to remember his name.
Katie Campbell.
Oh yeah, that kid had to pick up poop.
Mm-hmm. You didn't have good manners.
Yeah, with manners.
So anyway, you're famous left and right, man.
That's fun. Thanks.
But people want to meet me. Here's some places that you can probably meet me. Ellis Custom Creations. You can come to my shop, order a table.
This one?
Yep. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Well, we did talk about Comic Coffee's having a trivia night.
Third Saturday of every month.
And this month is the Office theme. So
yeah,
I think, I don't know, it's not official, but I think it'd be really fun to go.
I've texted Rachel about it because I forgot she's going to Iowa that weekend, but we might just have to come back. I think we might.
Oh, really?
End the weekend early. Come back. If you guys are in, then we will come back from Iowa early.
Okay.
To come do.
How fun would it be to just like raise an absolute ruckus at, Comic Coffee and get like 200 ghosties there? like they're expecting, every other trivia night they have,
9.
Yeah. Like they'd be lucky if they get 2 teams and we just come in guns a-blazing.
I'm a little nervous to even leave Iowa early because every single time I go to Comic Coffee, I'm the only person in there. Like I am their only customer as far as I know. I took like Rachel's brother when he was in town and he was like, "Oh, you
took somebody like as a tourist, like you got to try
Comic Coffee. See it, yeah.
This is a destination coffee spot.
Yeah. I wish I could have taken more people. And the only thing I like about them is what they outsource, which is their pastry. And they switch who they do their pastries from. So now what's my reason to go there? They got new pastry shapes too. New Danishes.
Did you figure out the original source of where they?
No, I need to find where they came from. You're absolutely right. I just go up and ask them, "Hey, where'd you used to get your Danishes from?" "Okay, thank you," and just walk away. Yeah. And do you know where that is?
Way better. Yeah.
Should I take the highway for that? Fast road?
Isn't it like one of those? Gosh, like, do you feel like there's some places that you go over and over again and you say, why do I keep trying this place out? It's never good. Like I feel like Comic Coffee sounds like that's kind of your thing. Like it's like maybe this time they're not going to disappoint me. Like maybe this time their coffee's better. Maybe they learned how to have a better pastry.
I want to teach Whataburger a lesson, but it's hard because they're a big company.
Sure.
But they move so slowly. It's the worst, just efficiency that I've ever seen in a, $1 million company.
I've avoided going there since it's been in Kansas City.
So I want to teach them a lesson. Yeah. Everyone stop going until they figure out how to move their drive-through faster.
Yes. There's one of the Home Depots here in town, the one on Johnson Drive. Every time I go there, I think, why did I fall into this trap again?
Yeah. You got to teach them a lesson?
I don't know how. How do I?
Just spank them.
Okay, sure.
What Elvis song are you guys humming? I can't hear it.
What if I did that as an Elvis impersonation?
That'd be cool.
Anyway, that's fun.
Anyway,
Comic Coffee. That's I like the idea of meeting me at Comic Coffee.
Oh yeah, places they can meet us. You can meet me at Volleyball Beach Sundays at 9 p.m. Come watch our volleyball games.
That'd be fun. I'm at McLean's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm off and on with McLean's though. I also go to Panera when they have air conditioning. I go to church at Lenexa Baptist Church. Come as you are.
Come as you are, and come meet me. Come in your merch.
Where else? My address. No, I'm just kidding. Jake's address every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, evening, sometime, we record one of those days. So you could just look, or so at least once a year, we go swimming at Jake's pool. So you guys can meet us there.
Trey and I talked about doing some pool-based videos soon.
Okay.
So you're welcome.
Yes.
I suggested those for you.
Nips out.
We swam at camp, and Hattie thought it was so cool that I could do cannonballs off the diving
That is
board.
cool. I've told you before that's cool. You can do cannonballs.
Yeah, I'm just so special like that.
Yeah, that's fun.
So, I biffed it this week.
Oh no!
I looked at my phone. Hadn't been looking at my phone for a while. I was
Kim
working
Campbell
hard
policy. Kim Campbell.
yeah,
phone.
exactly. I have the Kim Campbell policy when I'm working sometimes, and look at my phone to Google something, and I had been locked out.
Okay.
But I don't know how long is the longest you've ever been locked out, but I bet it's not 54 minutes. 54 minutes of being locked out?
Your phone or Google?
From my phone. Yeah.
Google.
Like your Google account or something.
No. Just my
I can't Google anything.
What am I gonna do?
Safari?
DuckDuckGo? Yeah, am I gonna ask Jeeves all of a sudden?
54 minutes. And so how I just have to wait?
Yeah, dude.
You can't enter in your password at that point and just be good?
No. You can emergency call or wait.
I would call 911 and say, this is an emergency. It's 54 minutes and I get my phone.
Yeah, call Apple.
How did you get locked out?
I think I had like kind of athletic shorts on like this. And maybe, how like sometimes like it'll like raise to wake or whatever your phone. I don't know if maybe when I moved a certain way, it like raised and the athletic shorts
from your thigh.
Were you dancing like Elvis?
There's like some materials.
Did you have an Elvis costume on?
Can I talk on my podcast? Did I have an Elvis costume on? No, I didn't. Of course I didn't.
Boo.
Whatever. I think, some material, like you have gloves, like touchscreen gloves. I don't know if it's this material or what that just, it made it, I had a bunch of attempps.
So your pocket like incorrectly guessed your password
a bunch of times. And then 54 minutes later, because I went to Home Depot and I was like, I think they have this product, but I was like, I can't check, so I had to go to Home Depot. And
touchscreen gloves in your pocket prank.
Anyway, it was a biff. I biffed it. So 54 minutes. I've never seen, like, I think the longest ever before that was like 5. So
54 is pretty unheard
54 is unbelievable.
That's a pretty long time to be annoyed.
And I don't know, like maybe you can plug it into like your computer or something and unlock it. I don't know.
It just kept zonking you every time you tried to get in.
Well, if you try again, then obviously that's how it makes it take more time. Like it gives you more of a penalty. So
man, that's too bad.
Power play.
What a weird punishment.
Just locking.
I guess it's like, who's that protecting? Like if your phone falls into a thief's hand, let's not give them unlimited guesses. Let's make them wait.
Yeah.
I got unlimited guesses for my security system.
I let them have the unlimited guesses.
Yeah, you got unlimited guesses.
I got unlimited guesses. Yeah. And that was my home security.
Yeah. Anyway, that's too bad.
Yeah.
When I just said Volleyball Beach, that reminded me, I didn't write this down necessarily because it'd be kind of hard to explain. But basically, we played one of the weirder teams at volleyball this past week, and Rachel's family was there to witness it. Right off the bat, we knew it was going to be weird. We go to set our stuff down on the bench, and the guy's like, we're on this court. I was like, oh, yeah. Okay, we must be playing you guys. He's like, so you set your stuff over there. I was like, oh.
Power trip.
Marking his territory.
Then he throws on these sunglasses we play volleyball at night.
Right.
He throws on sunglasses that are like orange, like volleyball, like night sunglasses, I guess.
Like athletic sunglasses?
Like rec specs?
Yeah.
Got the strap around the head?
No, not a strap, but just like thin, like look like volleyball sunglasses. Huh. And they're like orange.
Like they look aerodynamic somehow.
You could bike in them well.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, this guy takes it serious. And they were not good, and they were so lame about it. They kept calling Rachel out for things that they thought she was doing illegally, which is amazing because she has more talent than anyone on the court.
And
like,
more
probably
experience.
Combined. Yeah, so much experience. Like
she knows if she's doing something illegal.
All she's done her whole life is set the volleyball. And they're like, not quite. Rachel, of course, doesn't fight back or anything. She just goes, sorry, I am just a beginner. I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, no, you stayed up for yourself. Actually, no, I was like, don't mess with these people. They might be on bath salts. So
they were like really weird.
Yeah, they were a little interesting. And then they got mad at us for being in the wrong league afterwards. Like, you guys need to play up a league. And I was like, oh, no, we're actually like 3-3. Like, we're 500 right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, what court have you been playing on? And we're like, this one, that
but
one.
But what bench, where have you been putting your stuff?
Where do you put your wallet?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, not where you play. Where's your phone set?
Aren't you guys in the competitive league?
There is like advanced,
Oh,
like
there's
the
one above it.
upper advanced, and then we're in like upper intermediate.
Okay.
There's Delta Skyline, Sky Plus.
And there's Mile High Club,
Yeah.
which is where they have probably been before. Anyway, do you want to do like a voice memo or two?
Sure.
Don't have to, Brad. Don't have to.
Hey, it's your podcast, man. I'm just here. Just like Scott. No. Yeah. It's
Dude, that just reminded me. One of the other, this game show host was so weird. One, he definitely was flirting with Rachel the whole night. Pretty subtle stuff. Didn't feel like he needed to step in, but just kind of aware of it because it was like Coops versus triplets were on opposite sides. So I don't think he like really put it together. Just like kept like touching her like name tag and like gave her high fives out the wazoo. Brad.
Held that high five.
Hey, good answer, Rachel. I got no high fives, Brad. No high fives for me. No high fives for Tim. No high fives for
Trish.
No. Give her a kiss on the cheek.
You made out with her for like 3 minutes.
Is that worth more or less?
Well, that's Richard Dawson. That's just Family Feud. That's what you do in Family Feud.
When he went to take a picture of the group, it was on Rachel's phone, and he took like selfies of himself, like kind of with his tongue out.
Jeez.
That was weird.
That is something that needs to be extinct. Is
it's
selfies?
Not funny. It's not funny.
It was funny for like a week one time.
If you had an iPhone 5 in your hand, it was still funny.
Like that was like, that guy's kind of quirky. I don't know him, and he's doing
Take a picture of himself.
Ever since then, unless you can somehow upgrade that prank, don't do it.
You could somehow, without us knowing, film an entire YouTube video on your front facing, like of your face.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. If you're a ventriloquist, you never open your mouth. But something you said just right. Oh, yeah. He was like, it was a showcase showdown and the Price is Right. And so he's kind of explaining how it works. This is the end. Like, this is no longer how much does the Tide detergent cost. This is how much does a 7-day Alaska trip cost. And on top of having to guess this massive number, you don't really get to choose the number. You have to roll a dice, and then whatever that dice rolls on, okay, it's a 4. Now you have to put a 4 somewhere in the number. So it's like, do you want it to be in the tens digit, hundreds digit?
Interesting.
Thousands digit? So yeah, it's like you don't even get to choose. And he's like, but here's what we're going to do. If the team gets it right, you get 1 point. If you get it within this, you get 2 points, And if you get it exactly right, I'll give you 3 points. And I was like, whoa. I was like, if we get it exactly right.
If you get it exactly right, it's like Can Jam. If you make it in the little slit, you win the game.
That's what I said. I was like, you should get 1,000,000 points.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's game over. Because not only you have to like guess the right number,
but the dice
you have
to,
to also
favor.
Roll this dice.
And they're like 4 or 5 different numbers. Like, this is absurd. I was like, you should get 1,000,000 points.
Right.
And he goes, dude, I just work here. I was like, that's why I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Just the whole
you
thing.
have more like authority to like change it than I do.
It was such a terrible comeback. Dude, I just work here. I know I'm talking to you about the rules, Nathan.
And how hard is it to like change the rules of a game like that on the fly? Like it's not like it's like I'm gonna have to go to the rules committee on this before I talk. I
gotta call the old boss man. It's Friday at 11, so he's gonna be asleep. So can I get back to you guys tomorrow?
Dude, I just work here.
I just work here. So that's been my quote ever since. I don't know.
Well, I don't. Hey,
I just work here.
That's great.
Don't ask me. Okay. So voice memos.
Let's do it.
Hey, here we go. Scott,
hey, Jake and Brad. It's Kate from Indiana. Thank you for being the best podcast ever. The only one I listened to. I finally got caught up on all your episodes, and then I realized I have to wait a week for every new episode to come out, and so I was really sad about that.
That's how it works.
But I have a question for you. Me and my brother were talking. We were so confused on which Scott is which because I never thought about it that there was 2 Scots. Then I stopped and think about it. I was like, oh wait, there's Scott Peck and Scott Zell. And I was so confused. If you could just clarify which one is which and what they both do and how you met them,
can you hear
would be great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And then also, what is one thing that somebody you knew had or your friends had in their house or something special about the house that you always wanted? Or what is something that you had in your house that everybody else wanted? We have a slide in our house, and I was just wondering if there's anything else you guys had that you wanted or had. So thank you guys. I love your podcast. Have a great week. Thank you.
Brad, I think you should answer the question without telling Scott what the question is.
Okay, so yeah.
Her name is Kate.
So Kate, the first question you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kate, we'll call one C and one P, okay?
Okay.
To understand what we're talking about here.
Good.
So C, let's think of how I should say, how I should lie about this answer, not give the real answer. C is just this guy.
Would you say younger?
Yeah. We're talking 14 to 18. A variety of different cell phones that he had, I think. Maybe he had, one of those if half flips up, just half slides up.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't
know. He T9'd a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, just an all around funny guy, but like really scrawny. And just, I think one time, like back in the day, we were in the same weights class, and he would just bench the bar.
Okay.
So just and just an all around nice guy, but just kind of down on his luck with the ladies quite a bit.
Are you describing me in high school?
Had some ladies, but like, I don't know if they were the best.
Okay. And what about P?
Cream of the crop. And then, so P on the other hand,
Cream of the crop.
P is strong. Okay. P likes to really think he's strong, and, drives a nicer car than, C did.
Okay. Still driving though. Still sends his own proxy.
Still driving. Doesn't use T9 anymore. But listens to a lot more, T-Pain. No, a lot more David Guetta, a lot more, just David Guetta, other EDM stuff, a lot of reggaeton, and, thinks he knows what he wants in life, but then, I don't know, 2-3 months later, just kind of abandons it and sends it to a cousin. So all around, just bad judge of character, kind of rude on podcasts sometimes when his best friend that he's known since for 25 years, is trying to tell a story. A really good joke, by the way. And no.
Scott, do you have any guesses?
I feel like Brad's describing Ghost of Scott past and Ghost of Scott present.
C stands for Scott.
Cell.
Contemporary.
Cell. P stands for Scott.
Present.
Scott Peck. So this girl asked, there's two different Scotts. There's a Scott Cell and there's a Scott Peck. Kate, is that her name?
Kate Miller.
Kate, they're the same.
One and the same.
The whole idea, the joke behind Scott Cell was that, like, back in the day, and maybe they don't even do this anymore as kids. I don't know what the kids are doing. But back in the day, when you add people into your cell phone, you didn't ever have to put their last names because your world was so finite that you never thought you'd meet another Scott in your life or another Kate. Like even our friend Rustin's older brother, Britt, his contact in my phone is just Britt.
Everyone from high school still, they're just their first name in my phone.
It's just Britt. Yeah. So anyway, that's the whole idea with Scott Cell. It was like that he's one of the OGs. He's one of my best friends for life. And you can know that because
BSFL.
Because he doesn't have a 2-name contact.
It's fun.
So
Scott
Cell.
Jake, do you think that girl we met down in Wichita at the restaurant is listening still and is like, hey, I met him a long time ago? Do you remember that?
You were at a pizza. I'll tell you the story. You were at a pizza place at a pickleball tournament, and they met you, and they're like, "Oh, I love your podcast."
Introduced herself,
and Scott's like, "Oh, well, do you know me too? I'm Scott Cell." And we had probably mentioned Scott, 5 or 10 times at this point.
And still a fairly new character on the show.
She didn't remember him. Is that pretty much it?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if she's listening now.
Scott thinks about that every single day.
How do I get
as he straps in?
Yeah, she's like, wow, I met him.
Huh.
That's wild.
Now I know.
No.
The second half of Kate Miller's question was like, did you were you zealous? Did you idolize like a feature of someone else's like home when you were a child?
Sam Dwyer's house had all the best snacks.
Oh,
snacks, really?
Just the fridge was always stocked.
With homemade stuff too.
Yes, and she would always...
Gingerbread cookies.
She would make cookies and she would put them in the fridge. Something about it.
Freezer.
Freezer.
Yeah.
You're right.
Man,
Freezer.
That sounds good.
And she always had like
days.
150, 200 ice pops, like ices,
Yeah.
And so we'd eat, 10 every time. And,
Yeah.
And it was like they never ran out. I mean, it was like this unlimited supply.
It's like shark's teeth.
It was wonderful.
A new row comes in.
Yes, exactly.
I always wanted a trap door. I know we talked about fireman's pole or like revolving door like last week, a couple weeks, but trap door is always fun to me too. Like under the rug, under the carpet, it leads to somewhere.
Oh, dude. That's so cool.
It's like a Dr. Pepper cellar.
I watched a lot of like sitcoms growing up, Full House, Family Matters. They always had a swinging door, like from their kitchen into their living room. Like it was never like a, it was a swinging door. And I always was like, the only time I've ever seen that was on TV shows, but I want one of those in my house.
Yeah.
So,
I think I was also jealous of.
She said she had a slide in her house. Sorry.
Yeah, she did have a slide.
That's insane.
Sheesh.
I wanted a golden retriever. Sometimes you would find those in homes.
Yeah.
Still don't have one.
Also true.
You don't want a dog.
Can you think of anything else that our friends had that was like, oh?
Did you ever go to Ethan Johnson's house?
Yes.
EJ.
Ethan Johnson had an amazing home theater. Yeah.
Really?
Watch The Ring down there. Yes, scared the whole time.
Yes, I was freaking terrified.
Gosh. I was like, but there were girls with us, so I was like, that wasn't scary.
You guys scared of this?
Honestly, I was like just waiting for the scary part. Like I mean, that was like kind of scary. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I got a little nervous, but like, and then it was like over. So like, wasn't that scary?
Dude, this is a great character. We should try a TikTok of this.
Yeah.
9th grader watching a scary movie and like
with
with
girls,
women around.
Trying to be strong.
Yeah.
There were
In
so
mixed
many
company.
things I said back in the day to like try to impress girls. Like I remember like being in, like I wasn't truly embarrassed, but I acted like I was embarrassed to say that little kids were cute. Like, oh yeah, like there's this kid that, you know, like one of my cousins has a
specific
has
memory.
a 3-year-old boy, and honestly, like, don't make fun of me or anything, but like, I just think he's really cute. Sorry for saying that. and I was like pretending to be like embarrassed, like I'm such a manly guy for having a sensitive side, but in reality, I was just like this really just like sweet kid that was just trying to look cooler than I really was.
You
Like,
were never more confident than talking about those kids, but you had to act nervous to appeal to the women.
Brad's screen name was Little Kid Lover.
yeah, I promise I don't usually say this, but like, that baby, that's just cute. Like, sorry, I shouldn't.
Word vomit.
Yeah, I don't know. So
Kid.
yeah, stuff like that around girls. I mean, I could just think of probably a lot of different things I did, like
That's a
to
great
try to
memory.
impress Allie Sweet back in the day.
Your last name
you
was
know.
Sweet?
Oh yeah.
Don't blame you.
I
Oh,
dated
she was
her.
great. You did not.
Are you kidding?
For like a day, maybe.
No, it was at least a week.
No way.
Yeah.
No, try 5.
Dude, 7th grade.
Try like a full week of school.
7th grade Scotty P was on fire. I was landing chicks
fire.
left and right.
Yeah,
Holding hands,
Holding hands.
you know,
I
giving
went-
hugs.
I witnessed
after school.
Scott's first kiss.
Receiving hugs.
I
You
witnessed Scott's first kiss.
Yeah, it was painful.
No, it was hot, dude. I loved it.
Hotter than I am right now.
No, I don't think anything's hotter than that. Yeah, I was like we knew it was gonna happen because it was like right before a break,
Right
like
before summer break. Yeah,
it was like I'm gonna kiss Jessica today. I'm gonna kiss
yeah.
her, and
J-Burb.
I was like too close to what was happening. Like I was like,
I got kissed actually. That's how close I was.
I mean, I was probably
He
a little
grazed
bit
my
farther
cheek.
away than you and I right now. And he's like, okay, bye. And like they just
I
hugged
didn't
it
do it
first.
the
And I was
first
like,
time,
I was
yeah.
like, dude, come on, man.
yeah. I went back in.
He went back in for it. Got the
Yeah.
kill.
Got the kill.
Got the
Got the
kill.
kill, yeah.
Bagged his dough.
And he started giggling afterwards like it was pickleball.
Dude, I'm starting to notice a lot of pickleball giggles on the videos. I'm like, wow, I do that a lot.
Yeah, guys, Scott's uploading pickleball videos.
Hey.
How's it coming?
I think I'm up to 14 subscribers.
Hey,
So
brick
wow.
by brick.
I'll catch Gene Shorts, maybe in the next millennium or something.
Yeah.
Brick by brick.
Yeah,
Um,
look me up, Scott Peck, and then maybe type pickleball at the end.
Yeah,
the
search
name of
Scott
my
Peck.
channel is just Scott Peck. I should probably come up with like a something.
Hey,
Wasn't there another?
brick by brick?
Was
Brick by brick.
the author of Chicken Noodle Soup for the Soul Scott Peck?
Some
M. Scott
his
Peck
name's
was
M.
something.
Scott Peck. I don't know if that's the book he wrote though.
Okay. It just stinks that we have other famous people.
Yeah, just
M.
look up
Scott Peck.
Scott Peck Pickleball. Go subscribe. Shameless plug.
As we speak right now, there's a Brad Ellis performing comedy in Kansas City.
Tonight.
That is not me. Yes. It's that I just
is
wish I
weird.
had a cool name like Jake Triplet that no one else had. You
get Jake from State Farm jokes.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll take him.
M. Scott Peck was an American psychiatrist and best-selling author who wrote the book The Road Less Traveled.
Dang it. What about whatever? Chicken Noodle Soup for the Soul?
I don't know.
Scott, I feel like the last couple of weeks you've had stuff like in your notes that we have not gotten to or we've not opened up to you to express. So I would like to do that time now.
Wow.
Would you like to?
That's very considerate of you, Brad.
You're welcome.
I do have a few notes.
Okay.
Stranger Things. I
Okay.
feel like there's Jake. You're not a Stranger Things guy, are you? You watched
I
that show?
watched a season and a half.
Okay.
Really liked it.
Yeah. This just finished season 4 last night, and I feel like there's got to be a lot of listeners out there that probably are in the same boat, and it was wild.
Cool. Yeah. I heard it's a little demonic in season 4.
It's a lot. I told Brad last night. So yesterday, 2 days ago, here we go. 2 days ago, Sam and I watched the second to last episode, and I got real and I was like, we should watch the finale, you know, like let's stay up late and watch it. And we started it, and it was 2.5 hours long. And I was like, okay, that's gonna put us to bed at a pretty late hour, so we'll save it for tomorrow. So yesterday, all I'm thinking about is Stranger Things finale, and sure. I knew Sam was gonna have a really busy day, so I was like, Sam, whatever energy you need to reserve in your daily activities to be able to watch Stranger Things tonight, please do it. And so we get home. The
sacrifice is being made to watch your favorite show.
I know.
Wow.
So we get home, hours, and Sam's like, no, not a chance. Am I staying up and watching that? I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to go watch it by myself. I'll rewatch it with you, I promise. So I'm downstairs in my basement at about 11 o'clock at night, alone, watching the final episode. And there's a few moments where, unashamedly, I'm a 31-year-old man. I grabbed a pillow. I had knees to chest, pillow in front. I mean, pillow covering my nose, and I was. I mean, yeah. There was one scene where I literally was like, I could barely see over the pillow. Yeah, I mean, there's some
very different than Ethan Johnson.
Yeah, you know, never when I was a teenager watching The Ring would I do something like this. But now, as a married 31-year-old, I was full on cowering behind a pillow.
Yeah, I heard that, like, you know, Stranger Things started off as more like thriller. It's a little dark, a little sci-fi.
Yeah.
And now it's like horror.
And the actors are like they gruesome? Started off as literal like like 10 and 11-year-olds. And now they're a little bit older. And yeah, the very first episode of this season, the first character that gets killed, the way that they are killed, it's like, oh my gosh, like we're stepping. Yeah. They shot him 5 times in the head. No, it's they kick up the horror a little bit in this season. But
Brad, let's try to guess things that have happened in season 4.
Okay, so give me some character names.
Potential spoilers.
11.
You have 11, Max, Mike, Will.
What's the guy with the funny teeth?
Yeah, Dustin? The funny guy.
Dustin. Yeah, Dustin's awesome. Steve. You have a new character, Eddie, who's one of the highlights for me of this season.
Who's the hot lifeguard? He's still in it?
Billy. He died last season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoilers, right. I guess.
Bold prediction.
For anybody.
I feel like most people should know
somebody's gay now.
2.
Bingo. All right, Brad, your turn.
2 people gay.
Okay, bold prediction. Somebody dropped out of school.
No.
Okay.
If you say it in a funny voice, maybe it'll come true.
All of the characters are pretty studious.
Good.
Studious kids. Something happens to 11's powers.
Yes.
Bingo.
Okay.
I feel like Jake's watched this season.
Hopper? Is he still around?
Hopper is still around.
Okay.
By the grace of
God. Actually decided to switch careers and now literally be a hopper and sell trampolines for a living. Wow. He sees that that's becoming like more of a trend.
How'd you know?
Huh. Brad's seen it too.
Hopper becomes a trampoline salesman.
Quiz question for you guys. What is the primary language spoken besides English in this season?
Oh, this season. Last season, say it with me, was
Slovakian.
This season, it is
French.
No. It's Russian.
Really?
Yes.
Close. Good for them. Sign of times.
Yeah.
Bold prediction. Someone has a new nickname. I don't know.
Whoa! Calm down!
That's too bold.
11's going by L.
Maybe.
No.
That's a funny bit. Like, do bold predictions, just make them as tepid as possible.
All right.
Bold prediction.
This isn't one of those movies where, like, you think something's going to happen and then it doesn't.
Twist. Bold prediction. The guy you think did it actually isn't the guy that did it.
Hey.
Bold prediction. Everything is going well up to a certain point, and then it turns out it wasn't as peachy as it seemed.
Yes.
All right. Bingo.
All right, Scott, you got anything else?
I do have a few other things. Do you think Jake would appreciate the Finland and Sweden story, Brad?
Yes.
Probably. I've been playing a lot of GeoGuessr, so I can tell you the difference between Finland and Sweden.
So Sam's gonna hate that I tell this story on the podcast, but I laugh so hard.
Oh,
so we're driving down to the Zacks this last
The
weekend.
Zacks.
The Zacks.
The Ozaks.
The Ozaks.
You guys can have it. You're not from there, so yeah, slander it all you want.
The
No,
Zacks.
we're trying to get the Zacks started.
Yeah,
I'm just
Zacks.
kidding.
No one calls it that. So we used to,
The Zacks.
where are you going this weekend? Southwest Missouri. Oh, you going to the Zacks?
Ah, Zacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a summer home in the Zacks.
Oh, it's beautiful that place in the Zacks.
yeah. Love the rolling hills in the Zacks.
I have a jet ski. I have a little pontoon in the Zacks.
Yeah. So we're driving
The
down.
Zacks.
Wazaks.
Zacks.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
we're driving down. Sam's in the passenger seat, just kind of scrolling through Facebook, and it's just quiet in the car. And then all of a sudden, just truly out of nowhere, she goes, "Wow, Finland and Sweden have joined NATO. The Swiss are no longer neutral."
What a
And-
wild sentence.
And there's like a
multiple layers in that.
There's like a 5-second pause. And I
The
turned to Sam and I
Swiss.
was like, and it kind of dawned on me what happened. And I was like, wait, who do you think is the Swiss? She goes, isn't that Sweden? And I was like, no.
Oh,
that's-
even after you asked her and she thought about it, she thought it was Sweden?
Yeah.
Okay.
I go, no, Sam, that's Switzerland. She goes, what? It's like, yeah, that's who the Swiss are.
The
So I was like,
Swiss.
what about the Dutch? Do you know who the Dutch are?
I was gonna say, I'll give you that. That is confusing.
Yeah, it is very
Like
confusing.
Netherlands
Yeah.
are Dutch and Denmark is Danish.
Yes.
So I've
Cherry
started.
Danish. Oh,
Oh, Danishes.
Those people from the Netherlands know how to make those Danishes. Ooh.
oh, they're lucky. That's why,
And those Swedes can really make a mean cheese.
that's why the Danish are so happy.
Look at
So
the
I-
Swedish
I've-
Army knife.
I've started using the Swiss are no longer neutral as a non sequitur, just kind of like
You guys
love
here?
basically like
Swiss
the,
are neutral.
yeah, basically like the idioms we started with. The Swiss are no longer neutral.
That's funny.
You guys want to go
That's too bad.
Chipotle?
Yeah.
Are the
So-
Swiss no longer neutral? Let's do it.
Yeah. You want to go Chipotle? Did the other worm get the worm? That's what I thought.
Okay, last
Got
thing
the
I
word.
have. While we were down at the lake, I was scrolling through the channels and I stumbled upon Wimbledon. You guys ever watch tennis?
Scrolling through the channel. Oh, just like
On
TV, channels.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
don't know why
remember-
that was
you-
hard for me to
do you
comprehend.
remember
so
those
Gen Z,
things?
like what? Like with the remote
just like
on
hitting-
right cable TV.
With your mind?
scrolling through the
Do you guys
channels.
you guys ever watch tennis?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, not anymore. But I remember when Rafa and Federer were going after it. I liked watching them.
Would you guys say it's a gentleman's game? Like players are pretty cordial with one another during the match?
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be. That's the expectation, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I don't know if I. Yeah, they definitely beef though.
Yeah, and especially
They
at
definitely beat.
especially at Wimbledon, you're kind of
Definitely
on
beef.
ceremony. I mean, you're generally playing in front of
Yeah.
the prince and stuff.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
So I turned this match on, and within the first like 30 seconds, they're covering something controversial in the match, and they show a replay of it.
Oh,
and
Is
did
this
you
the
hear about
underhand
this?
serve?
What?
Oh, you go. You go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't see that yet, but they showed this guy. His name's Stefanos Tsitsipas. Where do you think
Tsitsipas?
where do you think he's from?
Stefano Tsitsipas. He's from Greece.
Greece.
Yeah, you nailed it.
GeoGuessr. Look at this.
Yeah, great job.
Oh,
Yeah.
So he drops the ball and then just backhand swings a ball and smokes one into the crowd. Like,
Oh, because he's frustrated.
yeah, just a couple couple rows up, the ball ricochets off the back wall and hits a guy in the head.
Okay.
And so the guy he's playing against, Nick Kyrgios, where do you think he's from?
Curious George is
Jungle somewhere.
King George.
Oh, okay. England jungles.
Yeah, no, Leicester
He's-
Square.
He's in Aussie.
Aussie. He's a
Aussie.
Kiwi.
Well,
No, that's-
knew they drove on the left side of the road. GeoGuessr.
So he's in this moment, he's complaining to the chair judge that this guy should be disqualified for smacking a ball into a crowd, which I think he's got a leg to stand on there. That's kind of it's kind of not cool.
It's like, hey, I'm terrified to play against a psychopath. Can we do something about this?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's capable of.
Yeah. And so as the match goes on, you can just see the tension between these guys rising.
Cool.
And so like there's one part where a ball, like Kyrgios hits a ball that's very close to the net and is kind of charging a little bit, but this guy has an overhead slam. And Tsitsipas just like drills the ball at Kyrgios, like has
Fun.
the whole court wide open, but
Doesn't sound like a
intentionally.
sissy pass to me.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
he was
like
not-
it.
He was not a Tsitsipas.
Okay.
So he just wails on the ball right at him. And then there's another part where Kyrgios hits an underhand serve
Yeah.
and Tsitsipas is charging towards the net and just does this exact same thing and just hits the ball as hard as he can, off of the back wall, like makes no attempt to actually get the ball in play.
What's your take? What do you think about it?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like this is so fun to watch.
I was about to say, if you don't think that's awesome, you're too old. Like you're getting old because that is entertainment right there. Like it's like, I want them to have a little bit of emotion. Like, yeah, you could either win a point or you could like, set the tone here.
Let's see some stuff.
Yeah. There was like 3 other moments
see some pass.
where like Sissipas hit a ball at him. And so anyways, Kyrgios ends up winning the match. And then in the post game press conferences, they are just going at each other.
Cool.
And so I'm watching those now too. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, this is so fun. And even like the pickleball guys that I play with, we had a group chat going, talking about this match. And I'm like, this has never happened before for me with tennis.
Talking tennis.
Like, we should get more of this, like dodgeball tennis.
Yeah. I mean, it's not illegal to hit it at somebody, right?
No. It was just, I'd never seen it before, and it was so entertaining.
The like Instagram and TikTok algorithm know that I like pickleball, so they'll show me tennis stuff occasionally. So I see stuff from time to time.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it had led to all that or anything.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's great. I think it's what's good for sports. It's good for anything. It's a little tension, a little rivalry.
Oh yeah.
Look at Logan and Jake Paul. They were not that big of YouTubers until they had this fake like brother beef, and everyone like tuned into that. That was a big thing. And
everyone tuned into that.
Scott, well, it was on his channel.
Yeah.
But, I've thought about that for pickleball. Like at the pro level, there's no like everyone's just like friends. No one like cares. There's no rivalry.
Well, there was just a match recently where guys were jawing big time, and it kind of made pickleball headlines. So that doesn't get very big.
For you guys listening, you knew about it.
There's not a big reach for pickleball headlines.
It made the Daily Kitchen, which is
But yeah, there was guys that they basically spent the entire match just jawing back and forth, and everybody loved it. So
cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I should release some of that information I know into the pickleball community. See if that gets things fired up.
Oh baby,
that would.
I was like, there might be a little bit of rivalry there.
That would stir the pot.
Rivalry is a word for it. No, that's fun though.
Gosh, I can't believe you just said that because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that's not whatever.
There's some sensitive information that could be released into the pickleball atmosphere.
Anyway,
all right.
Cool. Thanks, Scott, for the updates.
Any final words? Should we get into our reviews of the week?
Yeah, I don't think I have any final words. Let me double check here. No, I have. I need to figure out what this is. I just wrote down the word Brandon in my notes. And I'm always like a pretty good like.
That sounds like my notes.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what that means. So maybe I'll think about it later. But
if your name is Brandon and you recognize Brad in public, this is him saying, "Hey, it was nice to meet you."
Hey, shout out Brandon.
Shout out Brandon.
Is that what it was?
Was it? Were you gonna make a political statement?
I've thought about that for conservative dad. Be like at a baseball game, be like, "Hey, come on, Brandon," and then just kind of looking over, like kind of like smirking.
Like
hey, come on, let's go, Brandon.
Dylan.
Come on, Brandon.
Hey, his name's Dylan.
Oh my, we got
I call him Brandon.
Come on, Brandon.
Bug is buzzing the tower on.
No, I don't have anything else. Well, this is a fun little quick story. Me and Hattie, this is just like living with Brad Ellis as your dad. The other day we were, coming back from VBS. There's all these songs that they have a soundtrack for VBS every year.
What does VBS stand for?
Vacation Bible School.
Got it.
And, like there's a song, Spark Studios. So I'm like trying to get into Spark Studios, like going nuts.
Is it an Elvis song?
I wish.
Okay, I don't know what's in. Keep going.
I'm not even interested, honestly. But I'm just like going nuts, and I'm looking back at her like I'm going as nuts as I would go for a jingle. Like I am absolutely all out for this thing.
That's so funny.
And she could not be less entertained. And I finally just go. I look back in the rearview mirror. I go, nothing. And she just kind of smiled, just goes. And just shrugged her shoulders. And it was the sweetest, cutest little
Gary,
thing.
You're Julius. I dance for you. All right. That's how it's going to work.
I was like, someday you're going to miss me, Hattie. Someday you're going to miss these times. But it's just one of those things where she's like, no, you got to earn it, Dad. Like not everything's going to be, A1. So anyway.
I have a lot of those moments with Palmer.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
I bet I'm going to feel that way. Like I get to see me like, instead of reading a bedtime story, like I'm just gonna make one up.
Yes.
And just for like 10 minutes, just making up a story. And like, I don't even think she cared. I don't even think she noticed that I didn't have a book.
Dude,
Gosh.
Yeah. In
my
experience, the made up stories are always a hit. Like,
okay.
Yeah. So, but maybe your stories are bad. I don't know.
But yeah, I also don't have a daughter yet. So who knows?
I can't wait for you to have a daughter.
Oh yeah.
Or a son.
Little volleyball player.
Yep. Little setter.
Little suppler.
Setter's full.
Little supple.
Set!
Set on the kickboard.
She's gonna be at Rachel's volleyball. Oh, sorry, somebody's volleyball game. Oh, set, mommy, set it. Like, stop.
My final words are gonna be. I remembered something that I should have said last week when we were playing golf. I talked about the generational gap when we were filming. Like, old people thought it was so annoying, and young people thought it was cool. Someone came up to us like, "What are you guys filming?" And I kind of explained it to him, and I was like, "That guy over there." So he is like pretty famous online. His name is Trey Kennedy. But we all like post videos or whatever. He's like, "What's your name?" And I don't know why I did this. I've never did this. I told him my name was Jean Shorts. I don't know why it just came out of me.
Oh, I love that. I love the idea of your stage name or whatever. Like,
Oh no, that's my YouTube channel.
oh, they call me Jean Shorts.
Oh, shoot.
Oh jeez. No, my name's Ghostrunners. Oh no,
Oh,
that's my podcast.
That's my podcast. Dang it.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. What's your
Yeah,
name?
so,
Jean Shorts?
Shorts. Jean Shorts.
I mean, Jake. Not even close.
Excuse me. Jean
Yeah.
Shorts.
Your hair's flying around. Hey, Jean
Nice
Shorts.
to meet you. How long you been golfing? Jean Shorts. Hi.
The hair wiggle
Mahalo.
is great.
You know, that's too good, man.
And yeah, somehow didn't even write that down. Didn't think that was noteworthy until I remembered it. And I told Rachel, and I was like, this is pretty embarrassing. Yeah, just Jean Shorts.
Name's Jean. Jean Shorts.
Jean Shorts.
Jean Shorts.
Oh, brother. Okay, let's do our reviews of the week. If you want. You want?
Yeah, mine. Yes, I do. Mine is coming from Maddie with 4 emojis. Let me give you the emojis and just see if you recognize them, Jake. Okay.
Okay.
Ready? Oh, I'm gonna act them out.
Oh, just a big smiley face. Oh,
The silly emoji.
I don't know what.
Yes.
Oh, like a sideways face?
Like with the one eye blinking and the.
One eye blinking?
Yeah.
Oh, and then this one.
Oh, cross eyes. Or no, not
You
cross
suck
eyed.
at this. I'm closing both of my eyes.
Sticking tongue out laughing
Uh,
emoji.
I guess they're laughing. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
these are all really similar.
The tongue is out in 3 out of the 4. I don't know.
Another one. Anyway,
Okay.
Ghostrunners will cure your pet's car anxiety. This is for you, Scott.
Don't have to worry about that, Brad. Matt, this is for you.
I've been an avid ghosty. I know it's avid since 2020. I just recently got a kitten.
Why is he saying Avid?
What's this boy doing saying avid? I recently got a kitten named Lou, short for St. Louis. What? Just kidding. I'm taking classes this summer, so I'm still living in my college town, but I also go. You distracted me with that. And Esther's in the huh? But I also go home a lot since my parents only live 45 minutes away. Since I've had Lou, she's been very anxious about car rides, meowing basically the whole time and even pooping in her carrier. I was coming back to Auburn after spending the 4th of July weekend with my parents and decided to listen to best episode ever since I'd already listened to the episode released on the 4th. Lo and behold, sweet Lou falls right asleep to the sound of Jake and Brad's voices. It honestly made me so happy. If you want a podcast that's entertaining for humans, that is as entertaining for humans as it is calming for pets, Ghostrunners is the pod for you. Love you guys, Madeline and Lou.
Aw. Lou is a part of the review.
You can has review too, Lou. You like that?
Say it again.
You can has review.
Scott, translation. What's he saying to me?
You can has
review too. Oh, I
The
feel like
horse's name was Manners.
I feel like when we were in high school, there was like the first iteration of memes where Icon has cheeseburger with cats. I didn't really understand them either.
So you just told me a meme from like 10 years ago that you didn't even understand at the time.
That's the frustrated emoji.
Anytime I'm awkward, I'm just like,
Yeah, that'd be a funny okay, she's perfect in every way, but whenever she feels anxiety, she just hums the top of that theme song. That's her one quirk. Otherwise, she's completely normal. How do you feel? Just sorry, I got nervous. There was a Dave Chappelle movie back in the day. I don't remember the name of it, but his character in the movie, whenever he would get scared, he would hit people with a lamp. It was pretty specific. Anyone know that movie? Probably say people know that cat meme. All right,
people know the cat. People are going to be like, Jake, I can't believe you haven't heard of I Can Has Cheeseburger.
Never heard of that.
I promise I can't find anything in my brain that leads me to a spot where I've seen that before.
Okay. I Can Has Cheeseburger.
Guys, like it's like internet. It's like the Numa of memes.
Internet 1.0.
Yeah.
My review of the week is another YouTube comment because they're so good. Anna Hutchins said, just wanted to hop on here and talk about something that's been mentioned a lot on the pod. I keep hearing things like things like this is the best time to be a ghostie, or that y'all are hitting your stride. And those comments are absolutely 100% true. I think it's because Jake and Brad are both in such great places of their lives, and they're able to give us such hilarious content that shows how joyful they really are. So on behalf of myself, and I'm sure all the other ghosties, we are so happy that you guys are happy. And thanks for being so happy because it makes the podcast amazing, which makes us happy and helps Lou fall asleep. Anna Hutchins.
You're my boy, Lou.
I thought that was fun. That was cool. Thank you, Anna Hutch.
It is so true. Like anytime anybody's like, how's business? How's YouTube stuff? How's podcast? It's like everything is going really well.
Yeah.
Like
it's
like we are very blessed.
Yeah.
And we are very fortunate, and we have no reason not to be, like
every time I'm on stage, like pacing around, Lucas is performing and I'm about to go on. I like always pray. I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. That's how the prayer starts every time. I can't believe this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
crazy.
amazing.
Things are going good.
So
that's how I feel every day I walk into Dairy Farmers of America.
Yeah, I like to live my life fired up.
Why is he pacing in the lobby?
Just getting ready for work.
Doing the pacer. Do you ever do the pacer back in the day?
Oh, yeah, I was good, not great at it.
Guess how I did.
I bet you were sweaty for whatever class you had next.
Totally.
Did you dread Pacer Day, or was it like, this is still fine?
No, I didn't. I mean,
I dreaded Pacer Day.
I didn't hate it because I don't think I had like, they weren't going to be like, oh, Brad got out too early. Like Brad wasn't trying. It's like, I tried. And
yeah,
I just did what I did.
I don't think I liked it just because it wasn't a sport. I was like, I'd much rather just have basketball day or scooter day. Or something.
dreaded scooter soccer day.
Dude, scooters.
Like my fingers.
Do they still do that in schools? Like those little scooter things. Those things were so annoying.
Mr. Greenlee.
Have Mr. Greenlee talk.
Well, I'll tell you, he did his own pacer audio. Did you realize that?
Yeah, I think I did.
So every single time, like it'd be like a beep, it'd be like 1, beep, 2, and he was like trying to sound like he was like working at a laser tag place or something. Beep, 3. Whatever.
Why did he do
his exploits are legendary.
He was a nice guy. I liked him fine.
Yeah,
I liked him fine.
There was one very specific memory I have of Mr. Greenlee that I was like, that was weird that he did this, but he's like
shorts.
No, Scott, please. My podcast, not yours. I'm just kidding. My podcast, my words.
That's true.
There was one time he was like, guys, I have some high school guys that are going to be coming and helping me today. They owe me a favor. Don't ask me why. Do not ask me why. Do not ask me why. Guys, do not ask me why. Like, and he was like so overly emphatic about like, do not ask. And I was like, I don't think any second grader is going to be like, why are these guys owe you a favor? It's probably, I mean, I'm sure it was like a disciplinary thing. Like they got in trouble, so they had to do that.
Weird,
but it was just like it was like one of those times where somebody is trying to create drama when it's not there. It's like, it's like, hey, whatever you do, don't comment, about this. And it's like, I was never going to. Like, don't ask me why. Do not ask. And of course, then I'm like, well, what happened?
Now I'm so curious.
Now I'm curious.
Hey, before we go into Gunnar and Emily's, just do not bring up the lake on Saturday. Like, what happened to the lake last night? Don't see. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's just say they had a bad time at the Zocs. Okay. Yeah, it's like
just say they hired a time zocker. Okay.
Yeah.
Brad, would you like to end this episode with a jingle?
Oh no, yeah. Let's do it.
I don't know how it starts.
Play it. Oh. Yeah.
Are you sure that was supposed to be singing?
Let me tell you about a guy we know. Age 9, he was in rodeo. He's been in at least 100 fist fights. Getting tests from Brad has him feeling just fine. Steve Ross. Everybody, Steve Ross. Fave guest on the pod. All the ghosties know that Steve Ross. Went to work in his cowboy boots. Found a hole to fix with super glue. But as he got up for the door, found out he was glued to the floor. Steve Ross. Everybody, Steve Ross. Oh, the fave guest on the pod. All the ghosties know that's T-Rock.
Well, what's going on, everybody?
Your wig's looking a little sweaty.
That's weird.
My favorite thing Jake said right before we started this, he was getting all sweaty. He's like, I'm so hot in this thing. And he goes, I was actually planning on returning it. There's no chance, brother.
Not now.
Well, now I have an Elvis costume that doesn't fit for the rest of my life. So joke's on you. Oh, man.
That's great.
Is there any chance that we could make a quick wager? It doesn't have to be, we don't have to figure it out right now, but maybe we should be thinking about this for next week. That Jake would have to, like, the penalty would be he has to wear the Elvis costume for like the next year or the next 6 weeks or something.
The next however many episodes.
Yeah, like if I do
a Royals game.
No, I'm talking about like
one that's hot.
I'm talking about like he wears it so long that people no longer even notice that he's wearing the Elvis costume. Like people don't even like think it's weird. We'll think about it.
Hey,
we'll get back to
keep
it.
that in mind for the next March Madness penalties.
Okay, here's a fun fact. My neighbors across the street are like pretty creepy and weird. That's an opinion, but the fact is that especially the guy likes to like open his front door in like his skivvies and just kind of like look out the door every once in a while.
Okay.
His skivvies?
His underwear. Yeah. His skivvies.
Shiver me timbers.
Yeah. And my podcast. And I think he just did it right then when I was.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's like walking over right
wife.
now.
No.
Like
I've never talked to them. I've always
really just watched.
Yeah. I think they work at night. Like they work late. And so they're often either like asleep or something during the day. But
night skivvies.
They're like a feral cat.
Mm-hmm. Just like Lou.
Just like Lou.
So
yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. This has been a fun episode.
It's been one of the sweatier ones we've recorded.
Yeah. I'm gonna need a
You
shower
guys are
after
such
this one.
babies.
I'm not. I am complaining actually. I am complaining about how hot I am.
Rachel would love it. Next time we'll have her, sub in for you. You just give her all your notes and tell her all your opinions about things and all your quick-witted comments.
Okay, I'll talk about the quick-witted comments.
Like, here's what you say if Brad says this exact thing.
She could handle the stories. She was like there for half of them. Like, just tell them what freaking Nathan said at the game show room. Tell them about the Muslim comment. Just tell
no more racist stuff. Just
but that no alcohol thing's freaking me out. What are you guys, Muslim, Shiite, or Sunni? I got to know. All right, split up. You guys Sunnis, you guys Shiites. So how do we do it that way?
Sikhs?
Oh, interesting. Okay, read a book on Sikhism. Anyway, this has been I think close to a 2-hour episode. I don't know when we started exactly. We were rolling for a long time before we got going. So
yeah, we're at 2 hours.
Either way, it's a long one, and it's a good one. Go
Always
watch Elvis.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Go. I don't know what else they need to do. Go buy a raffle ticket from Tri-Lakes K-Life.
Yeah. Go buy some merch on Ghostrunners.
Yeah.
Go subscribe to Patreon.
Go join our Facebook group.
Yeah, we really appreciate all the support you guys give us in every way.
The Facebook group is so awesome.
It's so awesome.
Go check out Scott's Pickleball channel.
Hey.
Scott Pickleball. Dude, that's the channel name right there.
I should.
Scott Pickleball.
Yeah, that's a layup.
Not bad.
Oh, it's a layup. I'm going to take 40%, but yeah, you can lay up this other 60% if you want the name.
Okay.
Cool.
It's called Now You.
Shark Tank.
Thank you guys for listening to the podcast.
Love you guys.
Dum, 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 dum.
Ghostrunners podcast.